Welcome everybody to our latest session of the Bottomless Dungeon. This is actually session 2. Our campaign went through Dragon of Icespire Peak, and now we are in our second session of a homebrew piece of content between Dragon of Icespire Peak and Rise of Tiamat. So group, we'll do our quick recap as we usually do, and then jump into our session. So you guys will likely recall when we started last session, which was our first session in the Bottomless Dungeon campaign, you guys were wrapping up your activities in Phandalin after having saved the day in the Sword Coast area by defeating the White Dragon Cryovane. You guys quickly celebrated with the townsfolk who were very appreciative of you and giving you guys a whole lot of attention and sweets and food and all of these types of things, sort of lavishing them on you based on your heroic deeds here on the Sword Coast. You had previously spoken with this character Marlon St. Reed, as he has requested some individuals who might be able to help out him and his lord acquire a special treasure box that is known to have been placed into this very mysterious location known as the Bottomless Dungeon. You guys had heard this information some time back and sort of said, yeah, we might be interested in that, but we have this white dragon to deal with. So once that was dealt with, you guys did follow up with Marlon St. Reed and take him up on his offer. So you guys made your way out of Phandalin and west towards the coast, spending a day and a half of travel to make your way to the west coast there of the Sword Coast, and found that there was a large galley out at sea waiting for you. It was sort of anchored out there. So they sent a much smaller vessel in towards shore that can actually get up to shore to collect all of the team and take you guys over to the galley itself. Once you guys boarded the galley, you guys then started making your way across the water here towards this location that Marlon St. Reed has explained to you guys in the past. The trip, of course, was not without its own fraughts as you guys made your way across the water, at first seemingly very calm, and you guys maybe even enjoyed this. Maybe not Leroy, as he didn't seem too happy to be on the ship, but for the rest of you guys, perhaps a bit peaceful, calm, and so forth. At one point, Marlon St. Reed kind of adjusted his position to put his back to the railing, which focused all of your attention on him, essentially looking behind the ship as he continued speaking to you. And during this time, you guys got a strange sensation. It was hard to say exactly, but it was almost like a change in the atmosphere, perhaps. The water looked the same, but the air was a bit different. It was almost like a different scent. If you didn't know any better, it was almost like you were in a different part of the sea than you had been just moments before. And as you guys continued traveling and the night went on, you had spent a bit of time speaking with Marlon St. Reed, one another, doing some fishing. You guys then, as the night was coming upon and going through the night, you guys decided to kind of split up a little bit in where you were. Most of you, or 3 of you, stayed above deck, while 2 of you, which would be Kurtu and Josephine, made your way below deck. And so you saw down there that there was a large crew of rowers who were at the oar benches pushing the galley further along. During this night, the wind picked up. It was sort of a storm on the sea here as the waves got rougher, smacking into the ship, making footing uneasy. And you guys found yourself pretty quickly under attack as 2 large serpents leapt aboard the ship, first at the north side and then second at the south side of the ship. Shortly thereafter, they were joined by this flying tiny serpent that landed on the deck and changed forms into that of a humanoid snake-like man who quickly used this item to seemingly conjure an air elemental to join his forces. As these 2 snakes, this man, and the air elemental all took the battle to you guys, those of you down below spent your time trying to make your way closer to get above deck as you heard some danger occurring. All of you guys were dealing with the challenge of the rockiness of the boat and perhaps getting knocked on your butt at the start of your turn, though most of you guys did pretty good navigating that. Also down below, we had a break in the boat, a small leak sprung, and we had some water coming in, causing a panic among the rowers, so they started flailing about, and this made it difficult navigating through this area with them. Shortly thereafter, it was revealed that some of the rowers were actually undercover agents in league with this serpent man, and they actually had bows with them, as did some of the other rowers, and they began assaulting the player characters there and doing what they could to stall your efforts. Up above deck, you guys did pretty good defeating these serpents fairly quickly. This man that had landed seemingly as a spellcaster, but luckily with you guys' tactics and perhaps some of his blunders in his tactics, you guys were able to defeat him before he was able to do much as far as magic effects against you. With this resolved, you guys actually knocked him and then one of the undercover agents from down below unconscious and took them prisoner. Once the battle was done, you guys had been, and particularly Gale, had been calling for where Marlin was. It turned out Marlin had gotten knocked out down below, and he slowly recovered after the battle had ended and approached groggy and wounded from this head wound. Some of you guys, I think, again, Gale asked to inspect the wound, see if he could help, but Marlon St. Reed said he was not interested in any help. He said he was okay, seemingly gruff in this, not wanting to be looked at as like needing any help here. So you guys took both of these prisoners above deck, tied them closely together, made sure they were really much secure, bags over their heads, all the whole shebang to make sure that they couldn't do anything. And then, using some healing from Leroy, brought the undercover agent, the woman, back to consciousness. She was not communicative at all, very quiet, did not seem to want to offer much in any way of information. And eventually you guys, I believe it was Josephine, kind of smacked her with the stick and knocked her slain, actually, as there was sort of a debate going back and forth on how to treat these individuals, but with the solid smack, that was enough to end her. With the gentleman, you guys used some magic again to bring him conscious, and then he was very communicative, seemingly willing to tell you whatever it is that you wanted to know in exchange for the offered deal of allowing him to live. So you asked him some different questions. He explained that he was essentially a hired assassin. He did not know exactly who it was that hired him. He was hired in sort of a seedy area that he's known to frequent, and in his line of work, he explained, they don't really ask a whole lot of questions. So he had learned about your whereabouts. Again, it was a little vague as far as how he knew exactly where your group was to be, but he did arrive on the boat, and that was his stated mission, was to kill Marlon St. Reed. You guys questioned him a bit more as far as why did they not kill Marlon St. Reed down below, and he seemed perhaps a little bit confused by this, or wondering maybe that same question himself. He was willing to continue speaking with you guys. A few of the different ones of you guys spoke with him and bantered about some potential torture schemes, cutting off hands, doing different things like that. Ultimately, it was decided that you guys were going to allow him to live, and after you asked him as many questions as you wanted to, the result of this was throwing him overboard. This was Leroy's decision after he asked the man if he could just turn into this flying serpent whenever he wanted, and the man said that no, that was magic that he used to do that. So with that, he was hucked overboard and splashed into the waters. Best of my knowledge, he was still tied up, so unless he had some special skills or whatnot, seems most likely that he was not going to have much chance of survival here in the middle of the sea. With that accomplished, you guys continued on your journeys, tried to again ask Marlon St. Reed some more questions. He tried to answer what he could for you guys, but ultimately you guys were able to only get so much information, and then started heading towards on your continued journey on towards this location. So that's our quick recap, guys. Is there anything I missed there that anybody would like to add?
I did remember one thing that I don't think you covered, but while we were talking to Marlon, we learned what it is that we're looking for. It's a lacquered box. It's black. We got all sort of description for it, and we also learned what it was. Those snake people were Yuan-Ti. So, and then uh, obviously he told us the seedy person's name was Thomas, which we all were like, that's ridiculous. Thomas is such a sketchy name already. Just a one word.
I'm sure it's a real name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a few different items that you mentioned there. I'll say all together, we'll go ahead and call that inspiration. So yeah, go ahead and take inspiration for that, Leroy. The lacquered box, you guys did again get more details. You had heard in the past that the special attribute of this box is that it could actually replicate gold placed within inside of it. So of course, if that's true, if the legend is true of that, a very potent item indeed. Anything else anybody would like to add to our recap?
Yeah, just for what may happen today or whatever, but we were also told that we're not going to be able to negotiate the deal, that if we go into the area, that we've got to go ahead, and it's basically been in the past is kind of you'll get your reward afterwards. And also just in regards to the people of this area, this region, and everything. They're not much into jokesters, and they're kind of. It sounded like they're a little bit more serious in the type of society. Plus, just as a reminder, some people bought healing potions. I sometimes forget when I have them. So
Yes, again, all those different items added. Go ahead and take inspiration for that as well, Kurtu. So yes, to expand on that slightly, this land that you're coming to, you guys did ask some questions of Marlin, and he explained that the folks here were very honor bound, and they were, again, very serious, as Kurtu mentioned. So yes, they focus very much on sort of this concept of honor and face, and he did not recommend that you played pranks on them or anything along those lines, because it might just be interpreted oddly. And yes, as far as specific information on the Bottomless Dungeon, Marlin provided you guys with some information and then told you that there was a gentleman by the name of Alexander who was sort of posted there at the Bottomless Dungeon, and he and his family have monitored it for a very long time. He would know more, but some of the brief details he gave you is that once you enter the Bottomless Dungeon, you can't simply just leave whenever you want. You have to find the exit. All right, anything else anybody would like to add? Okay, if nothing else, then let us get moved over to our ship map and pick up our session. All right, guys, so the galley continues making its way, cutting through the waves here. As you guys have traveled for several hours on ship, and I imagine probably caught naps here and there, the crew down below, any of you guys that spend additional time down there, are certainly hearing concerns from down below, as it seems as though they mention how it's so shocking that these individuals just sort of popped up as undercover agents, and you hear some of them grumbling about how they almost got killed, others grumbling about now they have to row even harder as there's less people, and maybe that they should have took prisoners and made them row. And so you hear a whole bunch of this different kind of grumbling and so forth. Marlin makes his way from above deck and below decks, kind of moving around, just you get the idea of almost like supervising in essence. He does keep favoring the back of his head and putting a hand there every now and again and looking towards his hand, perhaps expecting to see blood, but those of you nearby him never actually see blood on his hand. Maybe he's just more or less wincing at the pain and expecting the blood to be there. So yeah, as you guys are spending a few hours here after all of the events, catching some shut-eye, eventually, as you guys find that the sun is beginning to come up and you guys start to perhaps rouse yourselves and go back on deck and look around and, cleaning the gook out of your eyes and all of that to be able to see clearly, you notice that off in the distance now, you can see what appears to be your first sight of land.
Yeah, I don't need one, but is it an opportunity for some of us to take a short rest during this last few hours?
So you guys will get essentially a long rest here as you have slept on the ship overnight, so this would qualify as a long rest.
Leroy looks very excited to see land.
All right, yeah, so as you guys are sort of noticing this and perhaps expectations are maybe moving through you here, you do notice Marlin kind of step to the edge of the boat and looks towards this land, and he just gives a sort of a satisfactory nod and looks back to you all and says, "We're almost there. I'm going to drop you off at the Bottomless Dungeon. I must make my way further inland then quickly. I must inform my lord about this assault from the serpent people. I certainly hope this doesn't portend any further complications."
And you should probably get your head looked at. Probably safe.
You notice he nods and says, "Yes, I intend to. It's just got my bell rung, I think, but yeah, it's probably not a bad idea."
You want to point us in a direction we're supposed to go or something? Is there like a button? What are we doing here?
You see he looks towards you with a bit of a chuckle and just says, "You'll see. It's hard to miss. So we're pulling in now." And you notice the boat continues moving as he's sort of shouting orders down below to the crew. All right, in the morning light here, image kind of more depicts nighttime, but in the morning light here, as you guys are arriving, you notice as the ship starts to pull up to this dock built out from the land out into the water, the vessel pulls up and gets alongside. Again, you hear some shouted commands, that sort of thing, as the vessel is brought to a rest and ropes are tied off to connect the vessel to the moors here and pull you guys alongside. As you do, you can kind of glance down and notice that pretty oddly, right where the wooden beams of the dock are, it might be 20 feet deep or so there, but just where the boat is, it seems like it's easily double that, and you imagine this has sort of been dug out significantly to allow ships even this large to get this close to shore. As you arrive at the dock itself, you notice that this essentially is a small island, and you're kind of surprised to see that. Off in the distance towards the moon on the image here, you can make out another piece of land that from this far away you would imagine is more like the edge of the city. Perhaps you can kind of make out some buildings, a wall, make out some of those details at a distance. But yes, as you pull up here, you notice Marlin nods towards this stone structure that resembles some kind of small fort perhaps, and he nods and you notice that there is a doorway there. And he says, "That is where you will need to go. Just head on through the entrance. I'm sure you will find Alexander before too long. He can answer any additional questions you might have."
Very good. Let's go. Let's get it done.
And, if you're not going to be using any more of those bait fish, I would hate to see them get spoiled.
You see he looks towards you with a chuckle and says, "Have your fill, my friend."
I already have, but I'll have my fill again for later. Thank you.
And he gives you a nod as he chuckles once again. Alright guys, safe to say you're going to exit the vessel, walk across the dock, and find your way into this structure.
Yes, it's a very good idea. Let's go. Hurry. Let's get it done.
Alright, as the group makes its way across the wooden dock and finds its way to the structure, stepping on in, you notice almost a complete dramatic change in the atmosphere. As you step on in, you notice there's like a wooden door here you push open, and then there's this kind of like long black felt cloth that you just shove aside and step on in and find yourself in much different accommodations. Alright, as you enter, you notice this long counter and a bunch of strange objects seemingly set around both on it and behind it. You can see some small containers, a bunch of odds and ends. Some strange things draw your eye quite quickly, and you notice a figure suddenly rises from behind the counter to greet you. Pretty quickly, as he looks towards you all and kind of raises an eyebrow, you notice some movement along his arm as a small shape rushes up and joins him at his shoulder.
Is that a snake? We just had a really bad experience with snakes.
He hates snakes.
I hate the snakes and the sea, and then at the same time it's really rough.
Oh, well, it looks like this image is not displaying correctly. I'm assuming you guys can't see that image?
No, I see it. Alexander
can,
Graham
but
and Winky.
Yeah.
Oh, it must just be my CPU usage then. Unfortunately, I don't even see the image. But alright, yes, as long as you can see it, guys, then you make out what appears to be an older man and some type of strange creature that is posted up on his shoulder.
Okay, that doesn't look like a snake. Phew.
As far as the screen goes, if it disappears, I think you could push on that little magnifying glass and it reappeared. I don't know if that helps you or not, but something weird just happened on mine.
Yeah, I just went to the player handouts and just popped it open that way, and it worked just fine. Does he have
hello
those?
there.
Can we see those tattoos on his arm?
You can,
Sorry.
yes.
Go ahead, Kurtu. My bad.
Oh, I was just saying hello. How are you? We were asked to come see you.
And you notice he looks in your direction, Kurtu, and kind of gives you this discerning look. You get the impression almost like he's perhaps evaluating. Welcome. I assume you are here to investigate the Bottomless Dungeon.
Yeah, but first I want to ask you about your friend. He looks nice.
Winky. Yes, he has been my companion for many years now.
Did you find him down there in the bottomless pit?
I did not, but another adventuring group did, and left him here. Interestingly enough, I seem to have bonded with him quite quickly.
I want one.
Well, if you are willing to take on the dangers of the Bottomless Dungeon, then you might find one yourself.
But you have to feed it.
I'll share. I'm good.
Yeah, he's got all those bait fish things in that bag.
Not
It's
as many
snake
as I
protein.
had a few minutes ago. They're
I'm just
dwindling
saying.
quickly.
I'm just saying, when the little ones get a pet, sometimes it ends up being everyone's responsibility. So you better make sure you're up for it.
That.
So,
you said that. Excuse me. You said that. The people came out with Winker, and so there have been people who have gone inside dungeon and then have come out.
Oh yes, the Bottomless Dungeon has been here for many years. Adventurers often arrive trying to take on the challenges of the Bottomless Dungeon, though none very recently, I must say. You're the first ones in a few months at least.
So is this your shop, or what do you got here? It looks nice. You got some neat stuff.
Yes, indeed. I am here to assist those who are trying to take on the challenges of the Bottomless Dungeon. Sometimes people wish to purchase some things before they head inside. Others, once they arrive out, want to unburden themselves with things that they have no use of, and I try to accommodate such requests.
Do you happen to have a cloak that would fit me? I'm looking for a nice cloak. I wound up getting some coins, and because we're heroes, and now I need a better cloak. What do you got?
Are you looking for fashion or for function?
Well, both, of course. I don't want to limit myself.
I see. And you see he sort of looks you up and down for a moment. I'm sure I have something here.
Go to the kids section.
Yes, I think I have a white ermine cloak here that I acquired some time ago, but it is quite heavy and warm, but it has no special properties. Would something like that be of interest to you?
No, I can't. Thank you. Thank you. It looks gorgeous, of course. But, white just tends to get dirty.
I see. Well, as I say, if you're interested in something else of more function, I have many different things here, but as you can imagine, they are quite expensive.
well, what do you have? Let's talk price after we figure it out. Yeah, I mean, he wants something that's not white. Probably gold if you got it. He
Well,
likes
but
gold.
it doesn't have to be for me. I don't mind chipping in to help somebody else get something too. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's got some cool stuff.
You know what?
Sorry,
Go ahead. I was gonna just say, what's your recommendation? I mean, you know who goes in here and who, doesn't come out. Can you give us things that they didn't have? Maybe that will help us.
I'm sure I could sell you such things, but the challenge with the Bottomless Dungeon is one never knows what one is going to face. So, being prepared would mean having something that can fit every situation. I doubt you have the coin to accommodate such preparation.
Yeah, that is. We don't have enough to cover everything, but you got something that covers something, a little broad. Like maybe is doubles as like armor, or maybe is like magically deflects spells a little bit, or helps you deflect spells. I don't know, something like that.
I'm sure I have something that makes that description, but as I said, it is quite expensive. Perhaps we could start with you telling me how much funds you have to invest in such an endeavor.
Oh, Dylan's all over that. That's not how you sell stuff, right, Dylan? Come on.
I lived underground for like 30 years. So the merchant thing is new to me, man. I'll be honest with you. What I can tell you is Kurtu and myself, and then Josephine there, yep, her, and then Gail, and then still here in the back. We just killed a dragon. We got paid quite handsomely for it. I don't want to be too loud about it. It's kind of foolish, but as long as your cloak isn't more than, let's say, 1,500 gold, we should be okay. Does that work for you? Something in that range, maybe?
You want to spend $1,500, 1,500 gold, excuse me, on a cloak?
Doesn't need to be a cloak. I'm not saying my cloak. I'm just saying I like to know what it's got for 1,500 gold.
Wait a minute. What is all of this? Excuse me. I'm being impertinent, if that's the right word. But let's talk about categories. We are interested in some defense. So what do you have to offer for some defense? And we have funds we can pool together. There are 5 of us, so a significant amount of gold. So why don't we talk maybe into tiers of defense capabilities?
Yes, I can certainly sell you a magical shield, perhaps, or even magical armor. If you have the funds, 1,500 gold pieces, well, I'm sure we have something here for you.
Well,
Very well.
tell us about the shields, maybe, right? What do you think, Gail? I mean, a lot of us use shields. There's like 3 people here that use a shield, right?
Yeah, that's an option. But what about offense then? What do you have to offer for offense? And then we decide which we think is best. How about that? That sounds like fun.
I have a variety of magic weapons, indeed. Are you looking for something in ammunition-wise, like arrows or darts, or something more permanent?
Well, let's keep it simple. I have some mundane sword at my side that is skillfully made, but it does give me no benefit when I attack somebody.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, that would be good.
Perhaps first I should ask, how much do you know about the Bottomless Dungeon?
Well, I'm very eager to go first. Second, we are told that there are many levels, and that's why it's bottomless. 2, 3, that every level can be different, or there's no prediction. And 4, we have to find our own way out.
Yes, this is true. It seems as though you have some knowledge, so this is good. But indeed, there is other things that are helpful to know. For example, if you are planning on taking potions of healing inside the Bottomless Dungeon, you will find them to be not particularly effective. However, if you're willing to spend some funds, I can give you a compound that will restore their effectiveness. When it comes to the weapons and armor that have been discovered within inside the Bottomless Dungeon, some of the first adventurers discovered that taking them away from the Bottomless Dungeon and outside into the wider world, their effectiveness kind of wanes, and unfortunately is not as good as you would hope, not as good as you found them in. But, once again, my family over many years has learned the secrets to try to make these things last longer, more permanent, you may say, but everything comes with a cost. So, all of the items you see here I can sell you. They all come from the Bottomless Dungeon, and they will work quite well inside. But if you hope to take them away from here, making them more permanent will be more expensive.
And is this invention of yours, after we leave, something we pay for and then you fix so it be more permanent?
If you wish. If you only intend to use the items inside the Bottomless Dungeon, then you don't need this effect to last longer or more permanent, right?
And now my head's starting to spin.
Oh, Oh,
I think
got
he's probably wanting something that's more permanent, something that he can use now and later. I'm assuming.
I see. So you're looking for a magical shield that would work wherever you take it. Let me see what I have.
Well, maybe a sword, a long sword.
and a
Yeah,
shield. I mean, who knows? Maybe you can
sure,
get a 2-for-1 deal.
sure. Let's look.
Yes. Do you have any BOGO deals going on today?
It doesn't look like there's a lot of other customers here, so let's make a deal.
All right. Well, if we look at the shield first, then let's see. All right. Would somebody like me to roll me a d6 and 2d10?
Not it. I'm too
Not it.
impatient.
I got it. A D6 and then 2d10.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not in next time too.
I don't think it's like rolling high or
Unless
low.
low
It's
is good, right? Yeah.
if it's just a table, then it's whatever falls in
Yeah,
those
yeah.
numbers. I love tables. I use tables all the time at my home game. Just
Yeah.
no, you roll it. Let's see what's happened.
All right. Yes, you see him looking through some different items here, and you can see him kind of looking through some different scrolls as he traces his finger. You get the impression of almost him like categorizing and calculating and doing some arithmetic. Ah, yes. So, the shield. I can sell the shield to you for 400 gold pieces, but as I said, if you wish for it to be work outside of here, then I will have to do the compound on it and perform the procedure. That will cost another 400, so 800 gold.
But can you perform the procedure maybe after we get back? Because mine might be a dead body, and a dead body with a nice shield, it means nothing.
That's
Yes.
a good point. What's it do for 400 gold pieces? What's it do? Does it have like?
It's slightly more effective at deflecting blows than your typical shield.
Okay, that's pretty cool. 400 gold sounds reasonable, but what about a sword in addition? What do you got there?
Well, let's ask also, I think, Gail, what kind of weapons do you use?
Are you serious? How long have you
I
been
don't
seeing me?
remember. You've re-rolled a couple times. I can't help it.
Could you seriously ask me what weapons I have? You look at my body, you'd figure I have a long sword.
Oh, I'm sorry. I that looked like a giant sword to me. Sorry.
He's a magic man. He doesn't use the fancy tools. The pointy end is the dangerous one, Kurtu.
Yeah, I know it is, but yeah. Anyway, I was just thinking you may need some magic. You don't get much magic, and sometimes your weapons, well, I don't want to say not as effective, but I've heard the DM say that a few times.
Yeah, that is why we've asked him about longsword. I'm sorry. Would you forgive my little friend?
It's not a problem. So, it sounds as though you are looking for a magical long sword.
Yes, please. The one that would function while in the said dungeon, and then would be useful if I were not to be dead. When we come back, we can make the thing.
Very pointy, if possible.
Yes, I can sell you a magical long sword. I could sell it to you for a price of 600 gold pieces.
And specifically, what would I be expecting when I swing this sword?
It is magical blades or creatures that are resistant to non-magical blades. We'll find you're able to penetrate all defenses.
Does it make me hit maybe just one point harder?
At this price, no.
That's good questioning, right?
And then that, I feel like so far we've definitely got enough to cover, sword and shield, but I would like to see if, anybody else had any questions about anything, if that's okay, and then we can decide what we want to buy. But Josephine, do you
What?
you got anything you want? You want a fancy stick that hits harder?
I'm a monk. This is
I-
all.
That's it? That's all you need? You're good?
I just like hitting things, man. I got my
You ever
fist.
you ever thought about like bracers on those fists of yours? Like they don't cover your hands, but they make you, a little bit weighted. You ever thought about those?
I mean, look at me. Adding weight to this might not be great, but if you're talking like bracers of defense, I think that's probably out of our price range.
What about like a ring, some protection magical thing you put on hand? I've read about that in stories in the Feywild.
Like a glove?
No, like I'll just say it, ring of protection.
And he's right, and maybe there's like an amulet you could have, because I don't want to be rude, Josephine, but you've, been knocked unconscious just about as many times as you knock someone else unconscious.
That is not true. My KDR is really great, especially in this campaign.
You're better than me, or at least the person who plays me, that's for sure. But are you sure? You don't have anything in mind?
Let's prioritize getting the sword and shield, and we'll see what we have left over. Okay.
Okay.
I'm okay.
And
And-
plus,
and- Well, I was gonna say, Syl, your blade is magical, right? I've never seen it before. I don't know exactly what to call that thing.
Yes, I have no need of armor or weapons.
How much is the compound, Mister? What'd you say your name was again?
Alexander.
Mr. Alexander. How much is the compound for the healing potions?
The compounder seems to work in an influx variety, meaning whatever item that is that you need to place the compound in, it doubles the price.
well, I'd like to know how to make my healing potions work, just in case. I think we maybe have like a total of 10. I don't remember. I have 2.
It is a fairly simple procedure. I just add some of the compound into the potions, and then they will work as you expect. If you do not use the compound, you will find them to be minimally effective.
Yeah, but how much is it for like 2 potions?
If these are the run-of-the-mill potions of healing that you can find at many various shops, then it would cost you 50 additional gold pieces to apply the compound to each potion.
Oh my gosh. But that brings up a good point, too. We may find something that we need to get this compound for, and maybe we bring our own item and it doesn't cost us as much.
Well, I still think that we should buy a couple of the compounds, because we've got all these healing potions and we may need them. We may not need all 10, but like maybe 4. That's like 200 gold. And then I think the shield is nice. I think, Gail, can you use a shield? Are you familiar?
Yes. What? Where have you guys been blinded? I have
Look, man,
shield on
last-
arm.
Last thing we fought was a giant dragon. I was really wrapped up in that, man. I wasn't really looking at you guys until you did that thing with your eyeballs when you teleported. That was crazy. I did see that.
Sorry, I feel like I'm losing my patience. I'm sorry if I'm just very eager to go inside and kill things at the moment. I'm sorry. I'm feeling
No,
moody.
you're fine. You're fine. So we got sword and shield. So before we compound them so they work outside, we should just use them for inside. So that's 400 and 600, right? And then 200. So that's 1200. I can give you 800 gold, Gale.
But
And-
I have 471 gold pieces, and I'm just gonna drop it on the table.
That. Take 71 back, and that's 1200, and we'll just spend this 2 chunks of gold, and then there you go, Mr. Shopkeeper. And then here's 4 healing potions. I'll put my 2, and then I'll put Kurtu's 2 up on the table for
No,
him.
no. I buy yours this time. Some people are so generous, but I can go ahead and I will buy I will take care of I would take care of 4. I take care of my 2, and I take care of his 2.
Okay.
All right, so that sounds like you guys want compound for a total of 4 potions of healing. So that would be 200 gold. And then, Gale, you're wanting to purchase the shield for 400 gold pieces?
Yes, please. I will just buy that now, and I'll take it off my sheet.
So you can add shield +1 to your sheet, and then after the shield +1, put BD in parentheses, and that's how we will keep track of items that are only effective in the Bottomless Dungeon.
I thought that maybe that Alexander said it'd be good for missiles or something like that.
He said this would help you be slightly more defensive.
Oh, very good. Okay, I will buy. Thank you.
All right, so as you guys are kind of scanning around and making these purchases, you notice as you complete a purchase and set the gold on the ground, Alexander kind of just motions with his hand, and you notice the gold pieces kind of pop as they disappear. You don't see where they go, but you presume he is collecting them from you in some kind of magical fashion. As this completes, you see he then looks at you and says, is there anything else that you're interested in before you wish to head to the Bottomless Dungeon?
And can I drop off my shield to him? Like maybe, I don't know, he's not interested in a mundane shield, but I want to leave my old shield, and I want to ask him, so tell me about this funny guitar looking thing. It's like a lute, they say, but it's very magical, I heard, and maybe you might want to buy this from me and sell it to the next person.
You see he looks at it and kind of raises a bit of an eyebrow and says, let's see. And you see he kind of has this piece of paper that he unfurls from like a scroll, sets it down and places 2 of these small clay markers to stretch it out so it doesn't roll back up, and he motions for you to set it onto the piece of paper.
Okay, very good. There you go.
And as you do, you notice some strange writing suddenly appears below. You don't recognize the script, but it's almost like the words suddenly appear in response to the item being set on the sheet. You see he nods. Oh, yes, well, this is essentially an item that is for entertainment purposes and is not quite functional. If you wish to leave it here, I suppose I could give you 10 gold pieces.
Well, that being said, can I just leave it here, and maybe if we come back, I can take it again, and then maybe this for 10 for 2 people as well?
I'm afraid I don't have much in the way of storage room. I suppose if you're willing to pay a fee, I could let you store some things in a box.
I have this fur 10 for 2 people, and it's freaking heavy. And I don't think I'm going to need it, so... Okay, well, how much do you think for a storage box?
Well, it depends on the size. If you're just looking to store the tent and the loot, I suppose I could allow you to use this for 5 gold pieces a day.
Do you have a bag of holding? Maybe we could get a tent bag of holding.
I do have a bag of holding for sale, but as I've explained to you, it only works in the Bottomless Dungeon.
Yeah, but it might be nice to know how much is that?
Let me see. I have to check the latest receipt here. Just a moment. And you see him once again kind of scanning through all these different scrolls, running his finger down and seeming to do some various calculations.
Well, I've not yet seen the sword. I don't know about the balance, so maybe we wait and decide about the sword.
I can sell you this bag of holding for 800 gold pieces.
Good to know for next time, for, when we come back again and again.
I think you should take the sword. It's just take that sword and it may come in handy. We don't even know for sure, so...
I agree.
It's better than, the one you used was nice, but we know this one will work on creatures who resist magic.
Well, if everyone agrees, then I would be very happy to wield it and to smack people with it. Josephine, are you okay?
We got a couple smackers. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I'm tired of doing all the heavy lifting.
Heavy lifting is she's complaining about how she can't even lift a couple coins or something.
Well, I bought shield for myself, nice shield, and I also need to have someone buy this sword for me because I'm short on the funds. I will pay you back.
I got it here. There's the 600 for me. There you go.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, then maybe I have sword too. Thank you.
All right, and this you can add sword, and then it will deal magic damage, or it is magic, so it will cut through any resistances. And once again, just put BD after it. All right, and he once again looks at you and says, If there's nothing else, I suppose you'll be interested in seeing the entrance to the Bottomless Dungeon.
Well, no, I still need to figure out my encumbrances, is what I feel like I am overweighted. Not yet, but I'm close.
Try a Pilates regimen.
So I would like to not carry a fur tent for 2 people, this old longsword that I have, and this old shield that I don't want or need anymore.
Well, just do it like they, do back in that other port. Remember, they stopped, paused really quick, and then things just flew out of their inventory and landed on the ground, and then we just kept on moving.
I can always just dump it somewhere like trash, but that would be littering.
Just put it outside and put a sign on it that says I'll be back for it.
Or free. If you don't want to come back for it, just put this is for free. Take it. I'm sure somebody will take it.
You'd never take furniture off the side of the road, trust me.
Oh no.
I would request that you not to leave trash outside of the Bottomless Dungeon. If you truly wish to just dispose of it, set it here on the counter and I will take care of it.
There you go. See?
Alright, well, very well. I will leave a long sword and this old shield and a fur tent for 2 people.
And just confirming, you wish to dispose of these items, right?
Yes, very much wish to.
As you set them on the counter, you notice he just circles his finger, and they sort of lift up in the air, and they fly over to this chest of drawers on the wall, and the 2 doors open, and you see these huge teeth in the shape of a mouth, and you hear "Rah, rah, 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 rah," as they just tear up through the metal and the cloth like nothing, and then the door is slammed shut once again.
And I have no doubt whatsoever the first portal we go to is going to be a freezing location.
Well, what, are we going to sleep inside dungeon? We don't need sleep inside dungeon.
Here's a relevant question. Hey, Alexander, that's your name, right? Yeah, I remember. People go in. About how long do they stay in there on average? The ones that come out, I mean.
It's just hard to say. From different adventurers that I've spoken to over the years, it seems as though some of the levels of the dungeon actually move at different times.
How do they know when they're at the other door?
Presumably they find it.
Does it look like the same kind of a door?
From what I have learned, it seems as though it is obvious when you discover it what it is. It takes a similar form each time. I suppose you could say it looks like some kind of marking on the ground.
Okay, good to know.
Now, we did lose our intelligence-based friends, so you got like a diagram we can look at?
For what specifically?
For the symbol that demarcates the exit?
I would say, based on experience from listening to tales of successful adventurers over the years, that once you find it, you will know it, unless it's intended for you not to know it, in which case you will not know it. But a diagram I do not think would be helpful in this case.
Great, so we're winging it. Sounds like fun.
I got one last question. Winky, do you understand us? Do you speak our language?
And you notice it cocks its head as it looks at you, and then it gives this little grin and it shakes its head no.
I was going to ask if we found your family, if you wanted us to give them a message for you.
You notice his tail whips up from Alexander's side and kind of bounces over Alexander's hand or head, and sort of like a whimsical, almost you get the impression of like a conductor doing a concert here with the wand. And then he just looks back at you and grins, and you see these sharp little teeth on both the top and bottom of his mouth.
All right, if I see your family, I'll let them know you're hungry. Okay, will do.
And as you say that, you notice Alexander digs into like this front coat pocket of his and pulls out a small nut and just hands it up. And you notice Winky grabs it really quick, just starts chewing on it. And he looks towards you all and says, "Well, if y'all are ready, you can see the door behind me here. This leads to the Bottomless Dungeon. Are you ready to go?"
Waiting on you, man.
I'm very eager to go and see this place.
All right. He steps back from behind the counter, and you notice this little like half wall. It is the counter, and he raises the countertop here as it's like a half door. And he invites you back into the back area of the shop, where he pushes open this larger door that has that metal knocker on it. And you notice a very small room inside, maybe 15 feet by 15 feet. And he nods for you to enter and says, "Enter, and I will close the door, and you will find yourself in the Bottomless Dungeon."
All right, I'm gonna go ahead
Exciting.
and I'm gonna draw my shield at him and just walk on in, ready to go.
All right. Is there anything special anybody's doing other than entering and waiting for Alexander to close the door?
I.e., magic shield or something.
If you wish to ready specific equipment, you could do that. If you want to cast spells, whatever you might want to do.
I will draw the sword, and you see me flipping it in the air, like doing one whole spins. I grab it on the hilt, flipping it. Let's go.
All right. As you all enter, you notice he gives you a nod and pulls the door shut. As he does, you hear the sounds of the shop, the strange little sounds that Winky was making, the sort of odd atmosphere. It all seems to get further away from you as things get dull. It is very dark in here, and as you're looking around, those of you all have dark vision either through your race or through a magic item. You're noticing, again, it's sort of shadowy in here. It feels like movement almost. It's like being back on the ship perhaps, but not nearly as rocky. But eventually you find yourself noticing that the light that you can see through the benefits of your dark vision actually fades. It is so dark in here that you cannot see anything.
It's never good when the DM already locks the tokens when he says you can't see anything.
Darkness is all around you. You can feel this strange sensation. It's as though you're not sure exactly where you are at the moment. You can feel your feet touching on some type of surface. It feels almost rocky underneath your feet. You can feel that it is not even. It is not as though it is just solid ground. It's almost as though there's ridges and nooks and crannies to this floor tile, to this texture of the ground. You cannot see even anywhere around you. You get, again, this sort of sensation that your companions are nearby you, but this is incredibly strange to all of you because for almost all of you besides Josephine, you've been able to see in the dark your entire life. Looking around here, however, you cannot. Your eyes do not penetrate the darkness whatsoever. You can hear, again, the sort of strange sounds. It's almost as though they're muted, and then suddenly they come into focus. It sounds like dripping. You can hear the sound of liquid, seemingly dripping around you and plopping and connecting into other liquid. Sometimes it's more smacking of liquid on some solid surfaces. What would you like to do?
I'll try to light a torch and see if I can create light the all-natural way.
All right, Leroy, you start fuddling around with your backpack, which is quite difficult because you can't see anything, but you're trying to remember by vision where everything is to undo your backpack, find a torch and then find your flint and steel to try to light it. It's taking you some effort as you do. And again, those sounds from around you seem to echo out here. Is there anybody else doing anything during this time?
Yes, I'm going to sheath my sword and move my hand around to try to grab whoever's next to me and say, "Stay close, everyone, stay close." Try to grab a shoulder of my companion.
Gale, your hand touches upon Josephine. Josephine, you hear that sound right next to you. The voices of your companions are not muted in any way. You can't see them, but you can certainly hear them. Josephine, I imagine you almost perhaps tapping on the goggles as, for the first time since you've worn these, they don't seem to be doing anything.
It's okay, I'll stay put.
Is anyone else having trouble seeing in this? Is this a magical darkness? Hey, where does our spell cast? Or I can't see anything, and I should be able to.
I can't see anything either, and I don't know how to cast any light type stuff. I mean, I have fireballs, but I'm gonna hold on to that one.
Oh, oh, I'm trying to find my torch. Maybe it's in here.
Adam, I'm going to try to cast Mage Hand and just try to push it out a little bit.
Go ahead and post Mage Hand for me. Okay, so yes, you utter these spell components and wave your hand around, and yes, the hand does indeed appear. You don't see it, however, because it's completely dark in here, so you're just by mind trying to move it around, and it seems to.
All right, I'm going to tell the group.
It seems like magic's working here, at least. I wanted to make sure.
Leroy, you managed to get your hand on your flint and steel, and you've got a torch lying on the question mark ground, and you're ready to light it if you wish to still go through with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to find anything we can't see, nor fight anything, so I think Leroy would just go ahead and light it. He says, before he does, he says, "Okay, I'm going to turn the lights on, hopefully. If they do turn on and there's some scary things, just be ready to swing, I guess, or fire. Yeah, to do your fire thing. All right, here we go."
All right, you strike the flint and steel, and you notice small sparks, which give a little bit of light in this darkness, and then suddenly, as they connect with your torch after hitting them a few times, it does indeed light up. You notice a couple of things almost instantly as the light from the torch emerges and stretches out. You notice this terrain is very, very odd. Your first thought is maybe some kind of rock, but it's hard to say. You notice looking off to your north and to your east, it's as though this rock just ends and you see nothingness there, just inky blackness. At the edge of your vision from this torch, the sound of the dripping is now obvious, as you see not on the ground here, but off the ground on the edge where that darkness is. You see globules of darkness seemingly falling from above you, and as you look up, you see darkness all around you. You don't see any ceiling to the extent of your light. As this liquid seems to drop down, it must be connecting to something down below, smacking into pools of water. You also notice at the edge of your vision 2 stone structures, hard to make out exactly what they are, and then directly to your north, past Gale, you see this very odd obelisk, maybe, or guidepost, hard to say what it is. It is square in shape, and you can see this sort of knot on top of it that looks very granulated. As you hold the torch up and to get this view, you suddenly hear an inhuman screech come from your north, then your northeast, then your east, and it seems to be giving off a cacophony of sound. I would like everybody here to give me a blind check. Still, it becomes quite obvious to you that this is some kind of magical darkness all around you. You can tell that the fact that the light is penetrating it is very odd, because usually magical darkness would not be overcome by this light just from a simple torch. In addition, you hear the shouts of whatever this sound is that's coming. You realize quickly, putting 2 and 2 together, that these creatures are attracted to the light. You can hear the sound of very large wings unfurling.
But I've sensed nothing. I just hear noise. Did anyone know anything? What are we sensing?
I hear what sounds like wings unfurling in the darkness.
Are they attracted to the light? If they're attracted to the light, then throw the light in the corner.
Seemed to be the
Why?
case.
Okay, then you hold it and you go
I
stand
can-
over there.
I can use the mage hand to grab the torch and move my magical hand out. Would that help?
Well, if they're attracted to light, then whoever holds light will be attracted by those people, things.
Yeah, but you don't know what I went through to just light that damn torch, and you're telling me to just throw it across the room now?
It seemed pretty simple, mundane task.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
feel like if we throw away the light, they're just gonna extinguish it and then kill us while we can't see.
As
Nah.
you're
Well, then-
debating what exactly it is that you would like to do here, you hear the sound of these wings getting closer, and I'm going to put us into initiative order.
Still like a boss.
Yes, Sil, you are the quickest to react as you hear this unfurling of wings and what sounds like beings getting closer to you. What would you like to do?
I dodge.
Okay, you take your action to dodge, and then we move to Leroy.
Is that the guidepost thing that we saw? Obelisk, maybe?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So I've got your tokens locked at the moment. If you choose to move, just go ahead and declare that so I know that you're moving.
I think I will move. I don't want to just, attract everybody right to a group of people. So I am going to move just a little bit up this way, and I'll hold the torch up and then have my shield up as well and be ready to dodge, and just look over my shoulder and say, "All right, well, let's just take them out, and then we don't have to worry about it at all." How about that?
Unless
Alright,
they're
so-
endless.
I think I just heard dodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are dodging as we move to Josephine's turn.
I would like to produce one of my 5 torches, but not light it yet. Can I also... I guess to do both, I would have to use my action to get the flint and steel out as well. Is that correct?
If you're not wanting to light it yet, you just want to basically be prepared to light.
Yeah, just in case something bad happens to Leroy, I don't want us plunged into pitch black darkness. I would like to have him in my hands, ready to light another torch if something goes wrong.
So now that you can see, I will say yes. It probably would take your action if you're trying to produce both a torch and a flint and steel and get ready to light it. So I would say you can get your action and you can have those things in hand, but you won't have an action to actually light it.
Yep, that's fine.
All right, fair enough. So you have your hands currently full with both a torch and a flint and steel in preparation.
Yep. And then I think I will just move here. And I don't have my action to dodge, so I will just chill out.
All right, before Kurtu's turn, the sound of these very large wings do indeed get closer. As Leroy, you feel first the pushing of like air as these wings get closer to you, and you can hear the sound of them flapping very loudly. As this being gets closer to you, you notice or can probably tell that it's at the edge of your vision at the moment. So 20 feet up is where your bright light of your torch is currently pushing. And in that dim light above, you notice this massive creature suddenly comes diving down upon you. As you get a glance at this creature, it looks reptile in nature, perhaps, with a massive wingspan, much larger, probably even larger than the dragon that you had previously fought. You notice that as it dives down upon you, it attempts to bite you. And here's where I pull up all my special effects. Okay, as this creature is diving down upon you, I would like you to give me a blind check first, Leroy. Okay, so you can see it coming right at you. You notice its form seems to almost fade away into this dim light, and you're keeping your eyes focused on it as best you can. You can hear it pretty clearly, but as it's getting closer to you, it's almost like it keeps re-emerging into the darkness. However, you're able to focus on it as it dives down upon you, and I will need a defensive roll as the creature does indeed try to bite you.
Do I still maintain advantage from dodge?
You do.
Nice.
All right, yes, you see the creature coming as it's sort of winking in and out of sight, and you see its jaws come down, snapping right by you before it flies back up very quickly, denying you any chance to take an opportunity attack as it reemerges into the darkness out of your line of sight.
Boy, it's like, what's his name? The elf guy and his, what was it, Banjo? He just flew in
Bango,
here.
Banjo, I think it had a few names.
Brando, that's it.
Chuck.
Leroy,
Man.
you notice as you're standing here in surprise and perhaps shock, another one of these creatures suddenly appears as well. I need another blind check.
Alrighty. How would using a hero point in this situation fall into effect? I burn my reaction now to claim to use a hero point?
Yes, yep. Then you would spend it, and I would apply that to your check.
Yeah, I think health points are going to be pretty valuable in this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and hero point whatever skill I'm using. There's a lovely 2 for you.
All right, I will add that to your blind check. All right, you do not manage to maintain your line of sight on this creature as it fades in and out of sight before coming to strike you. Because of that, you will not get the benefits of dodge. Give me a defensive roll, please. Okay, as the creature dive bombs upon you here, Leroy, striking into you, you're going to suffer 12 points of piercing damage, and then it's going to use its special dive attack ability to deal an additional 10 for a total of 22 points of damage on you, Leroy.
Is that a weapon attack, technically?
Yes, it is considered a weapon attack.
So that would be -3 for my heavy armor master, so 19.
Yes, yep. And after it strikes you, you notice very similar to the first one, it flies very quickly back up into the air and out of your line of sight. Now we move to Kurtu's turn.
Oh my.
I'm going to come here, and I am going to ready an action that if I see one of those creatures come in to range, I'm going to shoot a firebolt at it.
Okay, ready to action. Okay, at the end of the round, Gale.
All right, Adam, can you describe again? I'm understanding that this and this, there's not a doorway. This isn't a hallway. It's blocked or something?
These are stone structures, so now that you have the benefits of the torchlight from Leroy, your best approximation would be maybe these are bridges?
Okay, and then can you explain again this strange box?
Yes, this looks to be some kind of obelisk. So it's a square box shape with this kind of knot on top of it that has a bunch of tiny dimples in it. It has this kind of granulated look about it.
Well, do we run across bridge? Do I open box?
Your call at this point, man.
I would open the box. Maybe some adventurers gave us a some dark vision glasses.
All right, Adam, I'm going to move here, and then I want to see if I can open the box.
All right, meaning you're willing to touch this obelisk?
Yes.
All right, as you touch the obelisk, you notice a strange bluish light. It's very faint, seems to run from your touch up the obelisk, hits that granulated knot on top of it, and suddenly you notice a very cool light emanates from the top of this obelisk in the form of a floating ball of light. The
Quickly,
light that this ball gives off, you notice, is a very dim light, so you can see through it, but it doesn't have the bright, harsh light of the torch.
so maybe now no need torch. Oh, by the way, did it open or I just touched it?
You don't see any opening here. There's no sort of crease on this. It seems as though your touch has caused this light to appear.
Very well. So that's a pretty effective free action.
And you try to control it? Is it tied to you in any way, or is it just floating there?
Is it floating above him, or is it floating above the stone fixture?
It floats above the obelisk.
I'll move there. I'm going to ready an attack. I'm going to say maybe now take off torch, and then I'm going to ready a longsword attack if the creature comes within range.
All right, you ready to strike if the creature comes in range? And we move back to the top of the round. Syl.
I'll do the same already. An attack if it comes in range.
Okay. And Leroy.
Let me. I'm gonna move down to here. No. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go here. And can I take the torch and try to toss it like this direction? Just throw it down onto that bridge?
You can. Go ahead and give me a blind check as you toss it towards the bridge.
Let's see if you can toss
We've
it.
been here before. Don't fall
Everyone's
in the
thinking
hole.
that.
As the torch goes swinging end over end towards the bridge, you notice it smacks into the bridge, bounces, and falls off the edge as it descends down below. You notice the light falling, and then is gone.
And I'm gonna put my free hand on my chest and cast Sanctuary. Was that my action to do that, Adam?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So bonus action for Sanctuary, and I am just gonna raise my shield and let's see, maybe move down one, hoping that it gives a ability for both Syl and Gale to get an attack if it happens, but that's what I'll do. And I cast Sanctuary on myself.
Okay, Josephine.
All right, I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15. And I'm gonna put the torch on the ground, like near my feet, so I can still kind of feel where it's at. And then I'll draw the whacking stick and prepare and ready an attack if one of those things comes swooping down at us.
Okay. Okay, after Josephine's turn, but before Kurtu's turn, all of you can hear the sound of these wings batting or beating once again, but you get the distinct impression that these figures are moving away from you. And then we move to Kurtu's turn.
I'm guessing they can't see us in this kind of light.
Yes, that is very good decision.
Maybe there are more obelisks on the other platforms?
I'm going
we
this
can
way
find?
here.
Good
I'm gonna
idea.
I'm going to go ahead and take the
Well, I'll prepare an action if I see something. Adam, I'll go ahead and do firebolt. But I'm also going to say,
should we maybe tie rope on each of us so then that way there if one of us falls so the other people can save them?
Or they drag us all down with them. But yes,
That's
good
not
idea.
exactly the way
As you get to that space, Kurtu, on this stone bridge, and stand there, you feel a strange sensation as these falling large drops or globules with this liquid, whatever it is, they're fairly close to you. You feel like almost subconsciously you're narrowing your shoulders and trying to tuck yourself in to be as small of a figure as you can be. As you every now and again just bloop, you hear one gets, and you can feel the air as it pushes by nearby. Gale.
So are we going north? I'm gonna maybe check out this area and look down this bridge. It's much darker. So do I see it's a bridge now, Adam?
That's certainly what it appears to be, yeah.
I'm
That
gonna
one, remember, you can't see very well, so you're basically seeing just the edge of the bridge.
Yeah, well, I can't see past this one, so maybe we go north. There's 20. I'm going to go there 30. I'm going to take a dodge action.
All right, as we move to the top of the round, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end combat here, as it doesn't seem as though the creatures are trying to come back. So we are out of combat. Feel free to act as you wish.
Can I move back over to the obelisk? Is there any directions on it? Does it got an instruction manual that also popped out with the box?
Give me a blind check. You see no instruction manual, and as you investigate it, looking for any kind of insight to any further usages of this obelisk, you draw a blank.
Is the light out of reach, or can I reach it?
You could reach it if you wish, yeah. You'd have to probably do tippy toes.
Yeah, can I tippy toe and try to grab it and see if I can, like, maybe pull it with me?
As you reach your hand up to it, you can feel not heat. It's almost like it emanates, and it's not cold either. It's hard to put your fingertip on exactly what this is, but you can feel something being emanated from it, and you realize if you put your hand too close to it, you think it probably will hurt you.
Well, you think so, but you don't know for sure. You should try.
What about the mage hand that Kurtu produced that can manipulate objects?
Yeah, but that's fixated for sure. It's like a light bulb, but a permanent one.
I think Josephine's correct. Maybe there are more of these boxes as we traverse the bridge.
Yeah, they'll light our way. Just watch your step and don't fall off the bridge. Easy peasy.
Yeah, but what happens when we get to complete darkness on the other side? We just
gotta
gonna
walk
feel around for an
Yeah, we walk
obelisk?
around with our arms out and hope to find another obelisk before we fall off.
Ooh, risky business.
Or
I'll
maybe-
let you guys do that, and then my fail-safe plan will be light another torch and make a run for it, and then throw the torch.
Yes, you light torch. Get ready, light torch. We find box, throw a torch, someone light box.
So yeah, you guys want to cross the bridge? I'll just wait right here, and I'll go ahead and get like my torch and flint and steel ready, Adam. But I'm not gonna light it. I'll just have it ready to go if something were to go bad with their plan in the
Well,
darkness.
I think I barely see like the outline of the next platform over the north. Does anyone else see that?
I see it.
No, I mean, yeah, I could see it. I could see it. But have you looked over the edge over here?
Well, the
Yeah, it
other
looked like a
option
long
is
way down.
we could just stand here and die.
No, we are moving. There's no doubt about that, little one. But you are standing in fatal funnel right now. Actually, is this like a? So it's like a cliff straight down, right? There's no walls. We're standing on a.
Yes, it almost seems like a free-floating platform of some kind, as your teammates have used that word. And as you look down, your vision doesn't see anything because there's no light casting directly that way. But you can certainly hear the sound of bubbling, and you notice these globules fall, and you got to make sure you don't lean over, otherwise you're worried one of them might strike you.
Okay, so yes, we need to make careful cross the bridge to north. Who goes first?
I think whoever came up with the plan. So, Kurtu, you got it.
Do we want to tie ropes on everybody? In case the wind blows us off, the others can save me?
Yeah, great idea. And
I
you're
don't-
small.
I
You're
will.
small. We
I
can
will.
hold.
Yeah, I will stand here, tie rope around waist, and you go up there, and I try save you from fall.
You want me to go first? I can do it.
I look around. That's what I thought Leroy just said.
Yeah, well, that's because he's
Not Leroy. Oh my God. it is Leroy. Phew.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he just said. So is this a plan or not?
That's okay. I just want to make sure because I need to tie the knot on my on me, and then somebody else needs to go. Yeah.
Sorry,
Sil.
but let's go. I'm eager.
Hey, Sil, how long can you fly for with your magic ability?
10 minutes at a time. I have limited amount of times I can do it.
Okay. The rope is fine.
Why don't we just send one person? Because if they don't come unless we have torch, then we get a long rope, send you over by yourself, and you feel around for the obelisk, turn it on, we follow over, and then someone else has to go on the next bridge.
And we have rope as maybe tie a rope and then tie a rope here. Or is there any place to tie a rope, Adam, on this side?
Nothing obviously sticks out to you unless you think of maybe tying it to the obelisk.
I imagine we hold the rope, and then if he falls,
Yeah, we don't all need to go over there, right?
Yeah, send Kurt to.
Exactly. Send
I
to
mean-
hold the rope, and then bada bing.
All
you
right.
are the last OG. We almost got a full ship of Theseus here.
All
I
right.
haven't had to roll 4d6 yet.
All right, go ahead. I slap on back and I hold rope. Go. Find way for us. Make hero of yourself.
So just confirming here, Kurtu, you've tied a rope onto yourself. This is a 50-foot length of rope, and you're handing the other side of this to Gale, and he's holding on to it. Is that what I heard?
Well, I know I tied the rope on myself, and I handed it to Gale. I can't even promise what he's doing. It doesn't sound like they care much.
I hold on to rope with all of my efforts, all calories used to hold rope.
All right, so I imagine, Gale, you have sheathed your blade. You have a shield strapped to your arm, and you're using
Yes.
both hands to hold onto the rope.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Kurtu, you begin crossing the bridge.
We do realize that there's eventually going to be no room for Kurt in the rope, right? We know this?
Yeah, that's when we let go.
Yeah, I know. I understand what's going on.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to other side.
You don't need the rope he doesn't need the rope once he gets over, right?
Exactly.
No, I think he should still hold on to it, because if he misses the obelisk and keeps walking, he's just going to fall over that edge over there.
Yeah, like we all know there's an obelisk out here. Mm-hmm.
Not a hungry monster.
Yeah, we don't know that. We don't know what those birds
We can't hear you. We're using inside voices.
All right, that'll be 30.
Yes, this is starting to feel very strange, Kurtu, as you are at the edge of the light and you're essentially stepping directly into darkness.
I'm just glad that this party has one hero.
As you step to this spot, Kurtu, with your boots, I would say, do you wear boots? Does Kurtu wear boots, or what does he have on his feet?
He does tend to wear boots because he doesn't like stepping in acid that's happened in snow. So, yeah, but he can go without sometimes too.
And currently, though, he is wearing boots.
Yep.
Okay, so as you're walking across the bridge, it has, as you're stepping on it, makes the sound that you would expect from sort of like stone. But as you get across and step to here, it feels more soft underfoot. You don't feel that same, or you don't hear that same resounding sound. It sounds more like the ground or rock what you were on before you entered onto the bridge.
All right, Adam, I don't know if this would work, right? So let me know if it doesn't. But I'm going to use my mage hand, kind of cast it out, and see if it can identify when it hits something.
I don't think it gives you any kind of like feedback loop, so you would know that it's telling you. It can't communicate to you, the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, I kind of think that may be a little bit out there. Okay. I'm just going to start feeling around until I find a wet snout or, monstrous legs or anything.
So I'd say where you're at right now, you're really stretching the limits of your rope, keeping in mind that some of it's tied around you. It's only a 50-foot rope, so you're straining against it pretty hard to even get there.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and untie the rope, knowing that my friends are, well, I use that my adventuring party. Um, they may need the rope for themselves.
No, Kurtu. Hey, no, I can feel it's getting tight. Look, Gail, how about you just
Walk
scoot a
forward.
little bit down? Yeah, just scoot a little down for him. Give him some space. We got you. And then I'm going to tie a 10-foot rope around Gail's waist and hold on to that one.
And Leroy, as you're shouting across this area to Kurtu, you hear the sound of sort of like rock etching as up to your east and northeast, you can hear like sort of a movement kind of against rock.
Oh, that's not the screen.
Okay, yes, so you tie rope around my waist, do it very well, and then I will walk forward a bit more and give him more slack.
Adam, I'm actually going to go in a prone position and crawl, so then that way I don't accidentally walk off a cliff.
Okay, fair enough. You drop prone.
And I'm just reaching out to different directions, seeing if I can touch anything.
Yes, it feels like the ground.
I've given you more. I can't talk to him. He's too far away.
Do like the jump rope thing. Flippy. He'll feel it.
I am not in mood to talk about jump roping. That's a different season.
And again, I would say at that point, you're actually beyond the farthest reach you could get from Gale if you're still having the rope tied around your waist. So I think I heard you say untie, then Leroy shouted. So just to confirm, are you still tied?
Yeah, I kept it tied when I realized that the slack was coming back a little bit.
So being that you would have to use some length of the rope for, again, a loop around yourself, just doing a quick measurement here. 50 feet of rope, that's already 50 feet. So you would only be able to get 45 feet away from Gale, we'll say.
So
Okay.
I feel the tightness, and I'm just going to step forward. When I feel it get tight, I'm going to move 5 feet forward.
And I'm going to kind of yank it twice to let him know he has a fish on the line.
All right, fair enough.
I should have brought a longer rope. Mine's only 10 feet.
Do I sense the rope getting tighter, Adam? I'll move forward.
As you move to here, Kurtu, and you reach your hand out and you pull up to this edge, you feel like an edge of the ground as you realize you're essentially right on the precipice, and you feel one of those globules kind of fall right by you. And I would like you to give me a blind check, please.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. Don't worry.
All right, as you're feeling the edge and you see that, or feel it more or less, as it starts falling down your way, it does indeed strike into you, and you feel it start to burn the back of your neck, Kurtu. You're going to suffer 15 points of acid damage from that.
With no concentration shaving throw?
That's what the
That was
blind check
probably
was.
the check, yeah.
Oh, that's the blind check. Do I feel the rope tight?
Seems about the same, and maybe it's getting a little bit looser now. All right, so as you guys are doing this endeavor, I will say everybody that's not directly involved, so Syl and Josephine, you can go ahead and give me blind checks as you're just observing and you're not focused on any particular task at the moment. Unfortunately, neither of you draws any conclusions from this time.
You're just thinking about lunch.
Do we still hear like movement, or did that go? Did that die down after Leroy shouted, and no further communication has happened.
It seemed to die down shortly after that.
Hi, I'm okay. I'm sure you guys are worried.
As he's getting closer to you, Gale, you notice on the back of Kurtu's neck. Are you still on the ground crawling, Kurtu?
I would have gotten up right when right at the edge here.
Okay, so then you won't notice this as Kurtu is walking towards you.
Okay, he's back. Back up. He's here. He's found his way back. Excuse me.
I got hurt.
Well, that's what heroes do. They get hurt.
No, I had acid dropped on my head. On my back, look.
From where? From what? Those
I couldn't
things?
see, it's dark.
Shh. We are using inside voice. Just like your life.
Yeah, this looks like any library I've been to, honestly.
As Kurtu turns around to show this and exclaims loudly that this dropped on the back of his neck, you do notice a strange inky blackness that currently seems to be sitting just atop his scales.
Can you try to wipe it off with your mage hand? Probably not good to leave it on you like that.
I can't see it. Can you wipe it off with your mage hand?
Well, why don't you get off the tunnel to closer to me, and I will have a look and maybe find something to wipe it off. Does it still burn? Does it need to be wiped off?
If only we still had a fur-lined tent. That would be a perfect cow.
Just throw on top of him.
Make sure it's not alive.
Well, you have to get closer to here to get a good look. Otherwise, I'll probably have disadvantage on my blind check. Get closer to light, please.
Adam, if I tried to use the PREST word.
Prestidigitation, yep.
Sure. If I tried using that, would that work?
Would you like to try using that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
All right, go ahead and post that. All right, as you utter the verbal components of this, once again, you hear the sound of that rock seemingly carve, and you can feel almost like rock being fallen down, perhaps, as you hear the sound of the stretched wings once again starting to get closer to you.
Whoa, look at that.
Gale, you are the quickest to react this time. In response to Kurtu's spell, it seems as though perhaps those same creatures, based on what you're hearing, have heard and are now getting closer as you hear the beating of wings.
Okay, Adam, now mechanically, with the shield on my arm and my sword sheathed, I was still able to grab the rope with two hands?
Yeah, so with your shield strapped to your arm, you can still use that hand to just hold on to something. You couldn't, like, wield a weapon or something in it, though.
Okay. All right, cool. I just want to make sure. All right. Shh! They're coming again to make an attack. We must be quiet, or to figure this out, I'm going to take a dodge action. And I'm going to stand here because I'm the guy with the armor and the hit points, so.
Okay, next up is Syl.
I just ready an attack if anything comes near me.
Okay, and Josephine.
And dodge action, because I'm not sure which direction they're coming from.
Okay, before Kurtu's turn, you guys can hear the sounds of those beating wings as it gets closer. Oddly enough, in this dim light, as you're looking for the creature, you don't spot it. You can certainly hear it getting closer, though. And Josephine, you feel as this creature gets closer towards you, you can hear this louder effect as it suddenly dives down upon you. Give me a blind check first. All right, you're able to notice it through the dim light here, so you will have the advantage from your dodge as it strikes down upon you. And fortunately, it is still going to hit you. As it dives down here, Josephine, you notice a few things. First of all, so the strike hits you. and that will deal 14 points of piercing damage, and that will be combined with a dive attack for another 14 points of damage. On top of that, as you are in this strange light and it seems to get closer to you, you notice as it reaches out to snap upon you, it's almost as though it phases, as in two places at once. With this occurrence, as it strikes you from both close by and far away, you will suffer an additional 3 points of necrotic damage before the creature swings back up into the air, out of reach. Kurtu.
Alrighty, I am going to take a ready action that if I see this, if I see a creature, that I'll shoot it.
Okay, and I assume that's Firebolt?
Yep.
Okay, you have your readied action. Okay, before Leroy's turn, another of these beating wings gets closer and closer. Kurtu, give me a blind check, please. All right, you're trying to watch for this creature as you've got your prepared firebolt, but you're not able to lock sight with it as it seems to fade through the darkness. Leroy, as this creature gets closer, it tries to strike at you, and I'll need a blind check from you as well. Yes, you are able to lock sight on it. And remind me, are you dodging, or I don't think you haven't had your turn yet?
No, my turn hasn't come yet. So Leroy's still trying to fiddle around with that rope, and then he hears Gale and everybody. He's like, "Oh crap!" and he starts looking around, and then I guess he spots it right at the right time.
Yes, just as it's diving down to strike you. So defensive roll, just normal.
Hey, how long does Sanctuary last?
Just a minute.
Oh, sorry.
As it dives down, you notice again it sort of stretches out. So as it's flying above you, you realize it doesn't have to get very close to strike you here, Leroy. And in fact, you notice as its mouth reaches forward, it's almost like it extends to ridiculous proportions to bite you from quite a distance away. And this is going to deal 11 points of piercing damage from the bite, 9 points of piercing damage from the dive attack, and an additional 3 points of necrotic damage as it strikes from that extended range before it flies back up.
Is it my turn now?
It is, yes.
Guys, I hate this plan. This is not a cool plan. I could just keep getting whacked. We gotta go. We need to light a torch and run, and somebody needs to fire off some attacks.
Well,
Can't just hide behind the blue light forever.
gold.
I agree. Let's go. There's acid monster on the other side or something. I don't know what got me. Maybe it's just the dripping.
I didn't mean to move that far. I meant to just move 5, Adam. I'm sorry. Okay, so I still got the flint and torch in my hand. I was gonna light it. That will take... I do need to heal myself, though. Alright, so can I take my action, Adam, to do a lay on hands?
So if you have the torch and the flint and steel in hand, as long as you're willing to drop both of those so that you can lay on hand, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay on hands. I'm gonna get 15 back. For my, I guess for my interact with object, can I pick my stuff back up?
I would say you pick one of them up, so the torch or the flint and steel, but not both.
Yeah, the flint and steel is more important than the torch. I have more torches, so I'm gonna pick that up, and with it in my hand, I'm going to move. Did Kurtu say whether or not the other one, that this had an obelisk, or did he just come back because he got hurt?
He
Did he
came
say?
back. He came back crying that he got hurt. He didn't tell us whether or not he actually found it out.
Do you see light?
Alright, well, I'm gonna start moving that way then. 5, 10. There we go. So I'll move to there, Adam. I still got the flint in hand. Held myself a little bit. Yeah, I'm good.
All right, we'll move to the top of the next round. Gale, it is your turn. Actually, you know what? Based on time, let's go ahead and pause here, guys, and take our 15-minute break, and we'll pick up on the other side after break.
Cool. See y'all in a bit.
Alrighty, welcome back to the second half of our session here. The group is currently in the thick of things as these creatures have swooped down, struck them, and then retreated to the safety of the darkness in this very strange terrain the group finds themselves in. We are at the top of the round with Gale. Gale, what would you like to do?
So I guess we are going north again. Excuse me. Now I like to move stealthily, quietly, so I can move 15.
Okay, yeah. So you can take an action to do that if you wish. That would be essentially actually making a stealth check blind to see if you can be as quiet as possible. That would be your action, though, since you don't have, like, cunning action, for example.
Yeah, let me do that. So public stealth.
Nope, blind check. So this is you trying to be quiet. All right.
And
quiet.
I move half speed, right?
Yes, in order for it to be effective, you would have to move at half speed. Okay, next up is Syl.
Just move here and ready in action. If anything comes near me to attack it.
All right, you slide past Gale there on the bridge. Josephine.
Is there enough room to get past them on the bridge without putting myself in like super danger?
Hard to say. The first step, because of you're kind of on the ground connected to the bridge, you feel like you could probably move past Gale fairly easily, but moving past Syl on the narrow bridge without exposing yourself to the side on either way seems like it would be challenging.
Then I will take my cue from Gale and use my action to try to hide or be stealthy or whatever. So
Okay, blind check.
blind check. And then 2 spaces as far as I can go without putting myself at risk, so we're good here. And then I think I will spend a key point on patient defense. So that's a bonus action to allow myself the chance to dodge
Okay.
if things go badly.
Okay, before Kurtu's turn, Syl, as you make your way across the bridge, stepping past Gale and stepping onto this area, and then prepare yourself, you hear the sound of those wings diving down towards you. Give me a blind check to see if you're able to spot the creature as it moves through the darkness. You are. So you see it coming down towards you. As it does, and you're there prepped, ready to strike it, you realize that it is attacking you from a significant distance away, and it's very quick as it does so. So it dives down, strikes you from very far away in this shady, dim light, and give me a defensive roll, please. You manage to evade this strike as these jaws snap right next to you and then suddenly are gone, as though teleportation perhaps, or somehow it's stretching out and then it is not there moments later as the creature flies back up into the safety of the darkness. Kurtu.
Adam, would I have been able to see it from where I'm at? Because I had a ready to action.
From last round, you had a ready to action. Did I already ask you to make a check previously to see if you spotted the last one?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you did.
I feel like you missed the
remember.
check, and that's why you didn't spot it this round.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so I only get it on one creature then if it comes in?
So essentially what I'm doing is you're trying to focus. That check would apply for the round.
Okay, sounds fair enough. Okay, thanks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to walk across the bridge.
All right, so as you move past, so show me where you're ultimately trying to get to. Okay, so as you move past Gale, no issues there, but as you're trying to move past Syl, you have to kind of scoot around him, which is going to expose you to those edges. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw at advantage because you're small.
A Constitution, just a check, right? Not a saving.
Constitution saving throw, and you can roll this blind, please, since you guys don't know how difficult this is to resist. All right, unfortunately, you are exposed to this, Kurtu, striking you solidly as you're unable to evade it. The acid drips onto you for 13 points of damage as you manage to get to your current spot.
All right, I'm going to cast Heal on myself.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I am going to just I will scoot up one more. And I will take well, I'll just take an action if I see it. I'm going to shoot it with Firebolt.
Okay, so you're readying your action to see if you spot a creature to strike it.
Truth.
All right, before Leroy's turn, so far I've got Josephine has used an action to try to be quiet, as has Gale. Leroy, you did not, neither did Kurtu, neither did Syl. So Leroy, at the front of the line here, you feel once again as this creature flies down, dropping down towards you. Give me a blind check to see if you can spot it through the darkness. You are unable to see this creature as it is swinging down towards you. You suddenly feel it snapping by you. Give me a defensive roll at disadvantage.
Can I use my reaction to hero point it?
You can, yeah. Okay, so we'll add that on disadvantage. Yes, you feel the presence, even though you can't see it, you feel it, and you manage to jump back slightly just in time as those jaws snap down in front of you, and then the creature once again swings back up.
And Adam, I had a ready to action on that, so
yes, you can make a blind check to see if you are able to spot it. You are, Kurtu. As it is swinging down, you can see it sort of at the edge of the vision, so imagine it's about 20 feet away from you when you start to just make out parts of it, and you can make an attack.
All right, I'm trying to hero point it.
So hero point only works on your turn unless you're using a reaction, right? Which you're already using your reaction to take this opportunity attack.
Cool. Okay, well, I'll just roll a 20.
I'm sure it's going to be good. Your firebolt does manage to connect into this massive creature. So you guys notice as this firebolt singes outwards, it lights up a very small area through this pitch black darkness, and you can see these globules of this liquid falling down. The firebolt manages to sail right between a lot of these as it strikes into the creature. Go ahead and post damage, Kurtu. Yes, as this firebolt smacks into it, it burns it badly.
Hey, when it lit up, Adam, do we get any more vision on the island that we're walking to the north?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because my turn is coming up. Could I, have looked at, see if I could see the obelisk?
So the firebolt spell doesn't specify, a radius of light, so I'm having to assume it's fairly small. So I would say as it sails, so as it's sailing upwards, I would say it's not close enough to that land to give you any additional visibility.
Would I have assumed that this one was magical in any way, Adam?
Would you have assumed it?
Or would I have gathered, maybe?
I would say, I mean, I would assume so, because I don't think you've ever seen anything natural work this way.
Yeah, and I reached up, tried to touch it, and I felt that weird ambiance.
Yes, you felt almost like, again, you know it's not fire, because it doesn't look to be fire, and it's not hot, but you felt some kind of a pressure pushing back upon you, almost like if you think of getting your hand closer to flames, you can feel it start to get really hot, but you don't actually touch it because you don't want to get burned.
Yeah, fair enough. This is that weird point where I know that they're already attacking us, so do I want to, make some noise? Or do I want to be sneaky? I don't know. I guess I know that at least I can see the platform ahead of me, so I'm going to walk out and go that far at him into the darkness. And I am going to, before I make my way in there, because I still got my flint in hand, can I use, because I got shield with the flint, can I hold a torch in the other hand? Is that possible?
I would say you can hold the flint and steel in like your shield hand and then have your free hand with the torch, but it's going to be challenging to light it like that.
Yeah, that's fair, but it's more of an emergency kind of thing, anyways. Because if we're in here and it gets risque, I'm gonna try to light a torch on my next turn. But I'm just gonna move this far for now and have that set up in my hands with the torch, the shield, and then the flint and steel in my hand within the shield hand.
All right, so yeah, that'd be your interact with object. Is there anything for an action you'd like to do?
Just a dodge for now.
Dodge. Okay, sure. All right, top of the round, Gale. You're moving very quietly. You get the sense that these creatures do not know where you are. And as long as you remain moving quietly, you think that you'll probably be safe.
Yes, that is my intention, but there is this monk or this warlock person in the way. So if Kurtu, there's no way I can share a space with him on this narrow bridge.
You could, but if you end your turn there, you fall prone.
But if I walk across him, I have to do a Constitution saving throw again.
I would say what you notice from Kurtu as he tried to move past Syl. Obviously, he can't phase through his body, so he's kind of trying to skirt around the edge of that, and it does expose part of his body to the overhang where this liquid, these globules, are falling down.
Okay. I'm going to. I'm not going to make the bridge any more crowded than it needs to be, I guess. I can only move 15, so I can only move 10. Then they have to move past. Then Syl has to move past me. So it's just this weird thing. I'm just
We
gonna
should
wait.
let the people in front go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna take a dodge action, and then I will end my turn. Try to action, but I'm still being quiet, obviously, because of my last check.
Yep, until you move more than 15 on a turn or do something to obviously draw attention to yourself, that stealth check will still apply. All right, Syl, your turn.
So is the deal, like, if I want to go past Kurtu here, what does that involve?
Yeah, so you can't step through him, so you would have to skirt around the edges, assuming you're using a regular mode of transportation here, using your feet on the ground. You're going to have to skirt around him, exposing your body to the edges of the bridge, where you see this liquid dropping down, potentially hitting you.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's what I want to do.
All right, feel free to move where you'd like, and then we'll take that into consideration. All right, so yes, as you move past Kurtu, go ahead and throw me a blind check as you saddle around the side of him, and you are exposed to that dripping liquid. Yes, Syl, you are struck by this falling liquid as it connects with your backside, and you will suffer 10 points of acid damage. Was there any action there that you wanted to take, Syl?
I'll dodge or whatever.
All right, so we would dodge. We move to Josephine's turn.
Do I think that I am stealthy?
Yes, yeah. You notice that they didn't come after you. You're moving quietly as you can. You feel like, yeah, as long as you remain quiet, they're probably not going to notice you.
I will chill here then and take the dodge action again. I will wait for the party to move across the bridge because I cannot take an acid splash.
Yes, stay quiet.
All right, before Kurtu's turn, so Kurtu, you struck out, you are not being quiet, and you notice one of these creatures makes its way dive bombing down towards you. I will need a blind check, Kurtu, to see if you spot it as it's making its way towards you. You do see it as it's sailing down towards you. It strikes out. Give me a defensive roll, Kurtu. Yes, you see it, you anticipate it, and you evade it as it swings back up into the air. Kurtu, you get your reaction back, and it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and move there. I'm going to ready an action. If I see one of these, I'm going to
Kill it.
All right, fair enough. All right, before Leroy's turn, yes, this one does dive bomb towards you, Kurtu. Blind check to see if you spot it. Oh, you do not see it this time as it's coming down, Kurtu, as it stretches out with that very unnatural length and attempts to bite you. Defense roll, please. All right, and because you don't spot this creature as it strikes out at you, you just barely evade it at the last second as those jaws snap taking you almost by surprise as they just slightly miss. Leroy.
All right. Moving at half speed, I suppose, Adam. Can I take the torch stick in my hand and kind of prod in front of me, like do like a ground kind of thing and move forward?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay. I want to do. I want to just go forward a couple spots and then go over a spot. But while I'm doing that, I want to see if I run into the obelisk or if, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's still one over here. Kurtu got hurt. He didn't check the whole thing. So I'm poking and prodding while I'm walking around, trying to make sure I don't fall.
Gotcha. Yeah, and just to clarify, because you're not testing the integrity of the ground, you're just making sure ground is there. That's why I'm allowing you to move at half speed and confirm that. But yes, you move at half speed, kind of tap, tap, tap as you make your way through. Get to there. You don't run into anything.
Okie dokie. What does that interact with object and movement, I suppose?
Just half speed.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take a hide action. I'm gonna try to, get real low, like not prone, but crouch and try to be, quiet in the darkness that I'm in.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and give me a blind check as you try to be really quiet. And
Not
remind
very
me,
good at
you
it.
are wearing plate armor, I believe, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, fair enough. You try to be as quiet as you can.
Cool, that's it.
All right, top of the round, Gale.
I'll move 15 quietly, relying on my last stealth check. I'm going to remain in dodge, and I will end my turn.
Okay, Syl.
I step there and dodge.
All right, at the back, Josephine.
15 feet up, relying on my previous stealth check and dodge action.
Kurtu, before your turn, this creature dives down towards you. Blind check to see if you spot it. You do not spot it once again, Kurtu, as it strikes out at you. Defense roll at disadvantage. Once again, you evade it even still as those jaws snap down. You didn't see it, though, so no readied action, but your turn.
They
It's
think I'm
sorcerer.
taller. That's the problem, and they snap too high.
Shh!
I was talking to the DM.
All right, Adam, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to, if I see a creature, blah, 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 ready action, firebolt, slain.
Okay, readied action to strike once again. So before Leroy's turn, a creature does come sailing down, going towards you, Syl. Blind check to see if you spot it. You do not spot it, Syl, as it strikes out at you, so defense roll at disadvantage. You still manage to evade it, Syl, even though you don't know where it's coming from, so your dodge is not effective, but at the last moment you evade it as it swoops back up in the air. Leroy.
Adam, on that, am I able to see it at all?
You can make a blind check to see if you spot it, yep. No, you do not see it, Kurtu. Leroy's turn.
All right.
Leroy, at the beginning of your turn, surprisingly, you feel like you have achieved this very quietness that is necessary to not be spotted by these creatures as long as you remain moving only half speed.
Okay. With that in mind, I'm just going to continue my poke and prod method. I'm going to poke the ground and then prod in front of me and move up. And just try to make another little loop-de-loop and see if I run into anything. Oh, I think I moved an extra square.
You do not run into anything. The ground seems solid underneath you the whole way.
Okay, cool. I've only moved 15 feet, so I suppose I'll take the dodge action like my comrades have been doing.
All right, we move to Gale's turn.
And maintain dodge action.
Okay. And Syl.
I don't know. I can't do anything, so I just stand there and dodge, I guess.
Okay, Josephine.
Gonna go same thing as Gale. 15 up. Dodge action, relying on my stealth roll.
All right, Kurtu, before your turn, as you are not silent, the creature swings down towards you. Blind check first to see if you see it coming. No, Kurtu, you do not see it coming as it strikes out at you from a distance. Defense roll, Kurtu, at disadvantage. Once again,
How does
Kurtu,
he do it?
you able
Hey,
to
bebop
avoid the strike,
bitches.
and you hear, all of you can hear it swoop back up in the air, and then it is your turn, Kurtu.
All right, this time I am going to take the dodge action, and I'm going to just stand still.
All right, you try to evade any attacks coming your way. All right, before Leroy's turn, Kurtu, once again, this creature swings down towards you. Blind check to see if you spot it.
I know the routine. You don't see it. Go ahead.
You do not
disadvantage.
see it as it strikes out at you. Disadvantage on your check. Once
It
again,
misses.
yeah,
Yep.
this is a fun little interesting turn of events here. Yeah, we move to Leroy.
We're gonna be here all day.
If I can only roll
Making
well
no
when
progress.
when it's actually attacking, though, you know.
All right, I'm gonna keep up my little method here of seeing if I can poke and prod and go in like a little circle, see if I run into anything at him.
All right, yeah, you move around, feel solid ground underneath you the whole way. No, you don't run into anything.
Stupid. What is Leroy's flaw?
Hopefully it's not
Perfect.
he hates being in the dark.
Nope.
Snakes and
underground.
sailing.
All right. I don't like the whole being in the dark thing and then not being able to see. So I'm going to let's see. I need a hand for magic. So I'm gonna drop my torch at him,
Okay.
knowing that I'm risking my sounds having people come at me. I am going to bonus action blade ward using my once a day thing.
All right, so you cast the spell, the verbal component, and yes, it does make some noise.
Cool. And I used my thing, so it's got 2 left. And then as my actual action, I'm going to cast Detect Magic. And I'm hoping that I can see this little obelisk, because I should be able to see through a foot of stone, so maybe I'll still be able to see it, and I can use that sensory visible object to take me in that direction.
So within 30 feet of you, you do not detect magic other than anything you would find in your companions that you would already expect.
Okay, so it's either there's no obelisk or I just can't see it. So that would be Leroy's assumption at this point, but he's going to maintain concentration and hope he doesn't get hit.
All right, top of the round, Gale.
Okay, well, I can't see very well, but I imagine I can go one more square here, and then I will whisper, "Why don't you give me torch and put sanctuary on me?" And I will take a dodge action and end my turn.
Okay, Syl.
I dodge.
Okay, Josephine.
I'm good here, actually. I will dodge again, rely on my previous stealth roll.
All right, before Kurtu's turn, again, one of these creatures swoops down, now heading for Leroy as he has made some sound and is attracted that way. You do not spot it, Leroy, as it swoops down towards you, striking out at advantage. So disadvantage on your defense roll.
I clicked it. I think it's lagging a little bit. Let me try. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a lag.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I'll pop over and just make sure the scripts didn't all crash.
I'm refreshing my Roll20 also.
Yeah, it looks like they're fine.
That could have just been me. All right. Maybe those were just really bad rolls and it was just auto rejecting them. There we go.
Yeah, they were negative ones.
No, I clicked it again and it still is not. There it goes.
That's me posting. Yeah, it works for me.
Okay,
So
cool.
just to make sure you've got your token selected and you're good with just taking that roll then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if mine would have been any better, but yeah, I got token selected, defense roll, nada. Can I blind check? Yeah, blind check works.
I did
Yeah.
that just for testing.
The blind check's working too. It's actually coming through, so that is strange. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you need me to throw those for you, let me know. But unfortunately, as that is at disadvantage because you can't see the creature, it is going to strike you, Leroy. So Leroy, as it bites into you, you're going to suffer 11 piercing damage with the dive attack of 6 extra for 17. And then again, as it is striking from that darkness, an additional 7 necrotic for a total of 24 points of damage to you, Leroy. Kurtu, you still have your readied action, correct?
Oh, real quick, Adam. I know. There's my defense roll. Look at that. So 11 piercing damage minus 3 is 8 for heavy weapon master, and then blade ward, is it piercing? Yeah, it's piercing, right? So that would knock that in half too, right?
Yeah, it's all physical damage.
Everything except the necrotic, I believe, blade ward will cut in half.
Okay, so that's 4, 3, 7. So that is what? 7, 7, 14. Got it.
And Kurtu, you had a readied action to try to shoot it as it came down?
No, I took the dodge action that time.
You dodged this time. Okay, so now it is your turn, Kurtu.
I think maybe we should light a torch real quick and then put it out.
Yeah, one of you guys do that.
I'm going to hold off until I get enough from the group to make that decision, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a ready action again, Adam, and I'm going to end my turn.
Okay, readied action firebolt, I assume?
Yep.
All right, another one of these creatures is coming swinging down towards you, Kurtu. Kurtu, check to see if you spot it.
Go after the guy that made the noise.
You do see
it already did.
Kurtu coming down towards you. You can take your readied action as you spot it coming down.
Sure, why not?
That will connect. Go ahead and post damage. All right, that will strike into the creature, wounding it. As it lights up momentarily, you can tell it is hurt by that. And then it will try to strike you. So Kurtu, it is going to hit you regularly as you can see it. So just straight up defense roll. Once again, nimble on your feet, Kurtu. You evade as we move to the top of the round with...
One of us has to be a hero.
Okay, so I'm going to sheath my sword, and I will take my dodge icon off. Then I will sheath my sword and kneel down and try to light torch.
All right, so you spend your interact with object to sheath, spend your turn to light a torch that you already had out, correct?
No, I did not have already out. I've been having sword out.
Okay, so interact with object to sheath the sword, and then you're pulling your backpack off your back, procuring the torch, and and a flint and steel as your action. Yep.
Okay, that's my action, and then I always wanted to use my action surge to do something other than attack.
Sure. Yeah.
Like all we use it is for attack. No, I'm gonna.
Yeah, being a fighter, that tends to happen.
Yeah, I know, but it's like there's so many uses for another action. It's huge.
Action surge
to light a torch. Well, maybe it would draw the attention away, right? That's what I'm thinking. But I won't. Okay, so my action will be to get my shiitake out.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, my stuff out, the torch and flint and whatever. Okay, so that's my action, no bonus action, and my turn.
Okay, Syl, once again.
I dodge.
Okay, Josephine.
I'm going to do the same thing.
All right, so before Kurtu's turn, once again, one of these creatures swooping down towards Leroy this time. Leroy, defensive roll, please, and blind check first to see if you spot it. You do see it coming down here, Leroy, so this will be just straight up as it tries to hit you. Defensive roll.
Joy, here we go.
You managed to evade this strike. Kurtu, your turn. Oh, actually, Kurtu, you had ready to action this time, so yep, go ahead and make your blind check.
Did I use it last time on the one that swooped at me, though?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, you're right. Yep, because you did shoot at him.
That was
and
when
hit
I
him.
did the massive 13 points of damage.
You did,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So now it's just your turn, Kurtu.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stealthily move up 2.
Meaning you want to take an action to stealth?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and give a blind
Or
check as you try to be quiet.
No, actually, let me disregard that there.
Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to move twice. For no reason other than I feel like it. I'm going to reach my hand up to see if I happen to touch what we're looking for.
As you step to there, you bump into Leroy.
Outstanding. Well, he is stone, right? So does he light up when I touch him?
He does
And
not.
don't touch that. Don't touch that anymore. It's not the
Hey.
button you're looking for.
Well, you're a stone guy, right? You know, so all right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ready in action again, Adam. I'm gonna see if maybe we can down one of these things or something.
So you realize that you're currently sharing a space with Leroy, so if you stay here,
Oh,
you will fall prone.
I thought you meant that when I reached out to him, I thought you said I touched him. Okay.
No, you are in my arms.
There you go. Now you are free. That's your 15 feet of movement so far. And now you ready in action?
Yep.
All right. Okay, before Leroy's turn, this creature is going to swoop down in your direction, Kurtu. Go ahead and give a blind check to see if you spot it. You do not see it as it tries to strike you, Kurtu. Defense roll at disadvantage. It manages to strike you, Kurtu. As the jaws snap down near you, you are going to suffer 14 points of piercing damage, plus the dive attack for another 8, total of 22, and then it also affects you with this strike from shadows for another 9, 31 points of damage against you, Kurtu.
Can I, because I know Kurtu's beside me because we just hugged. I know that's within my interceptions ability. Did I see it? Would my count from before still seeing it? But this is a new one. Can I see if I can see it?
This was the same round, so yes, same check. So yes, you do see it.
Okay, so I'm going to use my reaction then to interception.
Okay, sure, yeah, go ahead and roll that.
So that's minus 13, so 31 minus 13, so that's 21 minus 3, 18.
Yeah, so you can give yourself, because it looks like you're in negatives, Kurtu, so give yourself 13 HP back as Leroy manages to, what are you using here, blade or shield or something to intercept?
I don't have a blade right now because I dropped that torch and cast magic. It's just my big old shield hand.
All right, so you interpose your shield between the strike and Kurtu, absorbing some of that damage.
Sorry, it was a little late. I can't see that well.
It's a cast of living, kind of, whatever.
All right, then it is your turn, Leroy.
All right, I've got a free hand, and he said that he's kind of living, whatever. So I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder. Can I feel him? Is he still within hand range at him?
He is.
Cool. So I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and just boof him real quick. That wasn't a good roll, but yeah, little bit extra.
Yep, that just requires touch, so that will work. So 8 HP back to Kurtu.
And I know that I spoke, so that is going to attract them to me. So I'm just going to keep gently prodding forward, shield hand out, ready to take on any attacks coming my way, I suppose.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I still have a bonus action, don't I?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, I can't. I think I'll just do Blade Ward one more time, Adam.
All right,
as
sure.
a bonus action. That'll bring me down to 1 left, but I'll have resistance for a while. There we go.
Okay, top of the round, Gale.
I'm gonna light the torch.
All right, you light the torch, and the light suddenly bursts into this area. As it does, you can see sort of shadows at the edges of the light from above you as wings are flapping above.
Oh, there's no obelisk at all.
There is another bridge. I'm going to run to it. Follow. I'm not in danger here, right? Like, just the map is weird.
You're kind of at the edge there, but no, you don't seem to be any danger.
Because walking across the bridge is going to be like off the squares.
Yeah, you'll just have to probably hold down your mouse to get you there rather than move the keyboard keys.
Okay, they will attack me now. Wish me luck. It was an action to light the torch, right?
Correct.
Bonus action dodge. Action surge dodge seems pretty apropos right about now. I'm gonna do it. Action surge. Let me do it correct. There we go. Action surge, and I'm going to dodge.
All right, you take a defensive position.
I did it. I did action surge other than attack.
Nice.
All right, Sill's turn.
I'll move there and I'll hold a Eldritch Blast if anything comes in range that I can see.
Okay, ready in action to Eldritch Blast. Okay, we move to Josephine's turn.
All right, I will remain stealthy. It's half my movement rounded, right? So do I have 20 or 25?
You round down. So what's your max speed right now?
45.
So you would lose 20, so you'd have 25.
Okay. So I think because I'm so hurt, I kind of want to stay in dim light. Assuming the creatures are going to swoop into the bright light, I'm going to follow at half speed, trying to rely on my previous stealth roll. 5, 10, 15. Is this square ahead of me in bright light or dim light?
So bright light would be 20 feet from the torch carrier right now. So from Gale, if we do 20 feet, that would be bright light.
So this one to the left, though, is that dim light still, if I'm counting right? No.
20 feet bright light. So you're at the 25-foot mark right now, but anywhere in front of you would be 20 feet.
I can't ready an action to move, right?
You can, yes. You essentially ready a dash.
Then I will ready a dash to follow at this distance if the light source starts going over the bridge. Or would that break my stealth to do that? Do I have to use my action to maintain my stealth?
You do not.
Okay, then that's what I will do. To run after him in that direction, trying to stay in dim light.
Got it. So if the light continues down the bridge, then again, because we're in turn-based combat, you're going to wait until the light stops moving, and then you would move and follow up to the dim light radius.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Or at least up to my speed to stay in stealth, right? So 20, a dash of
Maximum
20 feet.
20. Okay,
Yeah.
Yep. All right, before...
And of course I use my dodge action to... Oh no, I have to ready my action.
Yes,
Never mind.
that's your action.
Sorry.
Right.
Yes, that's my action to ready it.
All right, so before Kurtu's turn, one of these creatures does swoop down. So, Syl, you will spot it as it is entering the bright light. So, as it swoops down from this darkness above, you may make your attack upon it with your Eldritch Blast. The Eldritch Blast will sail wide, unfortunately not connecting. The second one will manage to strike. Go ahead and post damage. All right, the ray slams into the wing, wounding it.
Adam, I have a question. I'm not sure how you're going to roll on this here. So I had readied an action, but when it attacked me, I didn't see it. But now that it's within range that I can see it, does that affect my reaction at all?
Yeah, you can certainly use it now. If you didn't spot it before, you didn't lose your reaction, so you can get an option to use it. So yes, you can use it now. That will be a potential critical hit. Go ahead and roll a fire crit.
What a hero.
Cartoon the hero.
Somebody has to be, right?
Right.
All right, so this is normal damage. And attack rolls for attacks that deal fire damage have advantage when made against a creature until the end of its next turn. All right, go ahead and post damage. So we'll take normal damage. All right, so the 11 plus the 5. So as your firebolt stretches out, hitting into the creature as it is dive bombing Gale, you see that it is consumed by flame and falls down into the darkness below the bridge.
Better than a dodge action.
Is the other one attracted to its burning body?
Yeah, not so far. Kurtu, your turn.
Oh, darn.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to hold another action, Adam, so that way we can clear out some of the space here.
So you're readying to cast Firebolt if you spot the creature?
Yeah, heck, it did so good that time, right? Well, let's try it again.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, and sure enough, right after your turn, Kurtu, you notice this creature descends from up in the darkness as it makes its way towards you. You may take your readying action as you suddenly spot it within the light range of the torch. That, unfortunately, will not connect as the firebolt sails wide. From the range of 10 feet away from you, Kurtu, you notice those jaws try to snap down upon you. Defensive roll, please. This time it manages to hit you, Kurtu, as it bites into you, dealing 12 points of piercing damage, plus the dive attack of 8 as it strikes into you, and then you notice it quickly flies back up into the darkness out of the range of the torch.
Tried to reduce it, but I don't know how well that 4 did on that.
And just to clarify, did you have your reaction back, Leroy?
Yeah, because it was right at the top of my last turn, so I immediately got it back, and then...
Perfect, yeah. So reduce that damage, Kurtu, by 4. So instead of 20, it will be 16. And then we move to Leroy's turn.
Yeah. Does Kurtu go down?
Yep, Kurtu still falls.
Okay. I will lay on hands Kurtu real quick.
Don't spend a lot.
No, thank you. I just give him a little boost.
I mean, you could give me 3, you could give me 20, and it'd all be the same. One bite, and I'm
Yeah, that's what I was
delicious,
thinking.
right?
But there's just a couple. There's a little bit. All right, and I'm gonna say use those potions. Remember, drink one, and I'm going to move here, and hold my action to dash
You
across
just
the
used your
bridge.
action to lay on hands.
Oh, that's right. Well, then I'm gonna move over here, and I guess because yeah. Well, there we go. In my turn.
Okay, top of the round, Gale.
Okay, now follow me carefully. 5, 10, 15, 20. No, this would be 25. And then I take dodge action and turn.
That triggers my readied action, right?
It does, yes.
Okay. So I will start moving in that direction. So 5, 10, 15, 20. I can only go 20, so this is as far as I can go.
All right, you're definitely still in dim light.
Okay.
All right, Syl, your turn.
Move to here, and I'll ready my action to Eldritch Blast if one comes in sight.
Okay, ready to Eldritch Blast as we move to Josephine's actual turn now.
Okay. So I can get to the first tile of the bridge, right? Which one is it that I don't have to... I don't want to, like, step on a space that's going to drop acid on me. So which space represents where the bridge starts? This one?
As long as you stay on the bridge, you have no risk of acid damage. Unless somebody tries to move past you, then they would have a risk of acid damage.
I don't think I want to block the bridge then.
The first space, they can move around you easily, but once you're actually on the bridge, then that's when it would come into effect.
So this space here.
So you could move to you could move to this space without having any hindrance to the other PCs.
Okay, so I will do that, and then I'm still stealthing, right?
You
The
are,
dash.
yep. You're
Okay.
still just at the edge of the dim light, so as long as you don't move any further, you're fine.
I would like. I gotta start doing something. I've done nothing this encounter. I will ready a dart attack if I see a creature swoop down and get within 10 feet of one of my friends. So I wanna ready an action to throw a dart at a creature that attacks one of us.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Kurtu's turn. So Kurtu, you got dropped to the ground, so you'd be prone at the moment, but you are alive.
All right, I'm going to pop up. And I know I could use a healing potion, but I'm thinking I kind of more hoping that maybe I don't think a healing potion is going to give me too much points back, so hoping we take a short rest soon. So I'm going to go ahead and instead I'm going to stealthily move over. To here, and I'm going to take the dodge action.
All right, you move to there and dodge. Okay, before Leroy's turn, the creature that is flying above is going to swoop down towards Gale. As it does, Syl, this will already trigger your attack.
I don't have to do that anymore, I see.
You do not, 'cause you're holding a torch. First Eldritch Blast will connect, the second will miss. All right, that Eldritch Blast slams into the creature as it flies down, trying to hit Gale. Gale, go ahead and give me a defensive roll at advantage.
That trigger my readied action as well?
It does, yep. So Gale, yours is at advantage because you have the torch and you're dodging, so you can certainly see it as it gets close enough to you. So, yep, that is not going to strike you. And then Josephine, sure, take your attack. Yes, that dart
disadvantage is the same roll because it's more than
20 feet. Okay, yep. Yeah. So yeah, that will connect though. All right, so that strikes into the creature, wounding it. All right, and then after it tries to hit Gale and fails, it is going to once again swoop back up into the air. Leroy, your turn.
Right. Leroy is going to. You said moving past Josephine there wouldn't be an issue, right?
Correct.
I don't really know how this bridge is working with the squares, but we'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And
you can move diagonal if you wish. So,
yeah, I just went diagonal across.
Okay, so 25. What does that say? 20? 25, 30. Okay, actually, can I use my action to dash that extra movement to get beside the obelisk?
You
that I can see.
But as you do so, pushing past Syl while still on the bridge, I'll need you to give me a Constitution saving throw blind check. All right, you succeed on this, suffering half damage here, Leroy. So 4 points of acid damage as you're exposed to that dripping acid.
Cool. And then I still got my interact with the object, so I'm gonna poke the obelisk or touch that, see if I can get the light to go.
As you touch the obelisk, much like the other one, you notice these tendrils of energy seem to run through it, and then suddenly this ball of light springs into existence above it. As it does, Leroy, you notice at the edge of your vision here, in the dim light, what appears to be some type of very large ant creature.
Cute. We're not taking that one as a pet. That's not nearly as cute.
Okay, so after I do that, I still have 10 more feet of movement. So I'm actually going to, seeing that, I'm just going to make my way to this bridge here and say, no, let's just keep moving.
All right, as you get to there, Leroy, and maybe you guys have already noticed this, but as you're specifically traveling in that direction, you notice there is this second bridge that you're currently getting closer to, but it seems to trail off into the darkness about here as though the bridge is not complete. Top of the round, Gale.
Okay, then I will throw torch here as free action.
So you're dropping it off the side, essentially.
Yep.
All right, as you drop the torch off the side, the bright light winks away.
Then that's my interact with objects. I will action draw sword. Go here.
So you can drop for free and then interact to draw a blade. That works.
Okay. That's 5 feet. All right. 5, 10. I'm gonna go here. Protect my brother a little bit. I'll go one more. And then I'm going to ready an action. If he comes within range to me, I'm going to attack.
Okay, as you get a little bit closer here, Gale, with the benefits of that now light ball, you can see the ant seems to be digging into the ground with its pincers as we move to Sill's turn.
I'll move here and ready an attack if anything comes in range.
All right, ready Eldritch Blast again?
Melee attack.
Melee attack, sure. Okay, blade in hand, you're ready to strike. Anything else in your turn here, Sill?
Yeah, so it's lagging or something.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately, sometimes it does that. Josephine, you are up next.
I assume throwing the dart broke my stealth.
Yes.
So, okay. So then I'm going to do my regular old movement. So that's not the move tool. 5. I'm staying in the middle of the bridge, of course.
Yes.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And I would like to ready another dart attack if the flying creature comes down at us and gets within 20 feet of me.
Okay.
And I think I will bonus action patient defense. So one more key point spent, and I am dodging.
Okay. All right, Kurtu's turn.
I'm going to take the dodge action.
Okay, you rush across the bridge and attempt to dodge. You guys will hear as after Kurtu's turn, but before Leroy's turn, it sounds like the wings are beating and getting farther away. Leroy, your turn.
All right. I am going to... Well, I guess that's as good as time as any, but...
The ants just seem to be nipping at the ground. We still need to be quiet.
Okay. I will...
Take a short rest.
I'm just going to draw my my Dragon Slayer sword at him. And I'm just going to slowly start moving this way. And I'm going to try to be quiet while I'm moving in this direction. Is this blocking the bridge, or can people still get on it?
People can still get on it.
Okay, so I would want to try to sneakily move this way.
All right, go ahead and throw me a blind check as you attempt to be very quiet in doing so. Yeah, you're trying to be quiet, but you can tell you're making quite a bit of a racket.
But I still think I'm doing really good.
Of course you are.
I would say even you realize you're not doing very good with that roll. As we get to the top of the round, the sign of the creature retreating, I'm going to go ahead and get us out of combat here, guys. So, all right, you have made it to this area of rock on the ground. You can see multiple bridges spanning off of this, and probably what draws your eye most quickly is this large ant figure that you can currently see, and some of you may be able to spot another ant figure. The one that's closest to the group is currently digging in the ground with its pincers. So far, it seems as though it has paid you no attention whatsoever.
Very good. So you noticed the other one. So why don't we just go to the east?
Why don't we find a place we can take a short rest? Some of us really need it.
Kurtu, jump ahead so that you are not. You get closer to us, and we go across the east bridge, and then you find. Or unless you want to have a nap right now.
Am I
let's
safe
wait.
to assume you guys are all whispering right now?
Yeah, I'm whispering.
Okay.
I'm using my library voice outside in the middle of nowhere.
But once again, we have same problem. Hey, Leroy, what happened to this bridge? And I'm going to point with my snap to center one. This one.
It broke.
It's broken. Okay, well, that's very smart of you to figure that out.
Oh, dude, I've never been here before. But Kurtu's right. I don't think we're going to be able to nap. But I'm not going to be able to take too many more hits.
Now that we've got this glowy thing going on here, maybe we go backwards a little bit and try to take a short rest there if we're all quiet.
Well, I mean, we have to. If anyone kicks over stone, Kurtu dead. And so Leroy and Josephine doesn't look very good either. Do you want to go to this island and we'll point this one?
Or we could stay here. Maybe the ants won't bother us. We can see if it works. They don't seem to be attacking us right now.
I have no need to take a short rest, so I will watch for sure.
But you wanna relax right here with those creepy ants.
I'm waiting for somebody to make I want somebody to go ahead and say yes sometime soon, so I don't care where I rest.
We should go back to the other one. No reason to provoke these things.
I agree with that.
Okie dokie. Well, let's sneak our way back over there then.
So can I use my quote-unquote action, even though we're out of combat, to try to move stealthily?
I mean, yes, you could, but I'll just tell you guys that you notice that if you try to remain quietly here, it doesn't sound like small amounts of noise. Track them. It's only when there's several noises at once that you notice this before. So as long as you're not doing anything particularly noisy, you don't seem like you're at any risk of attracting them.
I would like to start making my way at half speed across the bridge.
Go ahead, Leroy. Sil, my good friend. You next? You had the blast.
Okay, you guys are in this twilight area at the moment between two areas of dim light.
I think this is good. I can nap here.
Then take your rest.
Those of you who are okay, just keep an eye out for that flappy boy. And there might be more too, so we're going to try to catch our breath.
Very good advice.
All right, so it sounds like you guys would like to try to essentially hunker down here and try to recover your wounds, spending a short rest.
That would be great. As 100 feet from the big scary monsters.
All
But
right.
I mean, we can see across, right? The light is still active, so if it starts moving in this direction, we'll spot it before it.
If you mean the
becomes a huge
ants,
problem.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys spend about an hour here relaxing, trying to do the best you can. It's very creepy because, again, you can't see very well. You can hear these strange sounds of plopping and all of that. The hour does pass by. Shortly before the hour completes, however, you do notice to the south as the light from that obelisk suddenly winks out. All right, those of you that wish to spend a short rest may do so.
Like to spend a short rest.
All right, please deduct one of your short rests in your display settings, and you can set your HP back to max, of course, and then anything that restores based on short rest.
Do you think we should go
Great.
over there and
So-
turn that back on?
Would it even turn back on?
No, we go forward. We don't go back. We go
I don't
forward.
see a reason to go back.
Yes.
Okay, just asking.
You guys are ready with your nap? Let's go.
Are the ants still there? Are they still doing the same thing?
Yes,
You
they're
would
still
notice the one that you can actually spot. It has moved around a little bit in this hour as you guys have been relaxing, but it's staying in this general area. It seems to be kind of scouting around the ground, digging with its pincers, moving at the edges. Yeah, it's still in the roughly the same area.
Hey, Gil, come back real quick.
Aren't you curious on what it's digging for?
No.
Maybe.
No,
for
I am not
treasure.
either. No curious at all.
There's only
You have
there's only one
powerful
flying
sword.
thing. There's only one flying thing left, right? That we know about? Why don't we, if we all get ready to shoot at it when it comes into view, what we could do is light a torch, lure it to us, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore. And then we can maybe use the torch to light our way more, so we don't have to fumble around in the dark for another obelisk that may or may not be on the.
I like
On
that
the thing.
idea myself.
That's not a bad idea because I was thinking that I would light torch over there, but then what if the anteater decides to light torch too, and then we add double fight? But here, then we just have flying
Yeah.
fight.
Why don't we just bait it in over here and fucking
Oh, yeah.
dogpile it?
Great. So I will stand middle of island with light and just be the bait.
Sounds like a great idea to me.
Maybe we could do a Godzilla versus one of those other ones, and you have the beasts attack each other.
You just watched movie?
It's just thinking of the what is it, Godzilla versus King Kong or something like that, right?
So what about planned? Sil and Leroy, you like planned? I be bait?
Sounds good to me.
I'll draw a javelin. That's all I got for range, but yeah, let's do it.
Okay, well make yourself ready because if you're near me, then you might get hit too.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ready, boss.
Okay, I light torch.
All right, and as you can probably imagine, almost instantly as you light the torch, you hear the sound of the flapping wings. I'm going to go ahead and lock tokens here.
You know, actually, Adam, can I light the torch and leave it on the ground like in Indiana Jones with all the snakes and the thing?
We can assume you have the torch on the ground as you light it.
Yeah, why do I need to carry it? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna light the torch, leave it on the ground, and draw my sword.
All right, so as you light the torch, that's what is, of course, going to bring the creature awake and alert. So I will say, as you light the torch on the ground, that's right when this action goes into initiative order. So we'll start there at the top with Josephine.
All right. How high up is it? Can I see it right now, or am I not supposed to be able to see it?
You can, yeah. You're going to notice it essentially at the edge of the light vision from the torch, as it seems to be latched on to this rocky terrain that seems to be just growing out of the darkness here.
Could I get within 20 feet of it without risking going over the edge, or is it like high up? Is the rocky terrain cling to like a higher platform, or is it right across from us?
It's kind of vertical, so think of it as sort of being dug into the side of it, about 20 feet up above where you currently are.
And how did we rule height differences? Are we not paying too much attention to it, or
No, yeah, you can throw on diagonals, so it
okay?
doesn't
So
really.
if I were to go here, could I attack it without incurring disadvantage?
Yeah.
So I will go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I will throw a dart at it.
All right, so as it is clutching on the side of this terrain, stuck into this rock, you throw a dart. Go ahead and make your attack. The dart does indeed connect,
7%.
penetrating into the back of the creature, where you notice it suddenly unclasps from the side of the rock wall and spirals down below.
And I will use the rest of my movement to walk back and say, that was easy. Why didn't we do that? Why didn't we do that to start with?
Why did you always throw darts, right?
Because I only have 3 left.
All right, and with no other obvious threats at this moment, I'll go ahead and get us out of combat.
That was a really fun combat, guys.
That's my favorite so far. The whole series.
Whew, real tense.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up Torch because I walked over the bridge with Torch and the Ant didn't care that I had Torch.
Yeah, can we just chill for a second? See if any other flying guys there might be around notice us?
Well, I am very eager to move on, but if you want to force me to not have eager, I will stay.
I'm worried about the ants potentially noticing us if we move too far. I'm trying to talk quietly, by the way. If we move too far to the east, we might wake up another nest of those flying things, and the sounds of battle might attract the attention of those other dickheads, and then we're going to be surrounded on a bridge, and that's not going to be good for us.
Well, let's take other bridge from down to main one, and we make a left-hand turn and go east down in this island, and we go that way.
Sure.
Come on, let's go.
And we might as well see if we can reactivate the obelisk while we're down there.
Good idea.
Yeah, and if we do reactivate that one, maybe we should go up and turn the other one, push it again to reactivate it for more time too.
And as you think of that, Kurtu, as you guys are moving away, you do notice the one to your north fades out.
Okay, but still be quiet and use inside voice and walk slowly.
I'm only going to say this a 14th time, but remember, I do have that mage hand.
Well, you never did anything with it, so you want
Yeah,
Torch?
because every time I say I could use mage hand, you guys are like, Kurtu can't do anything.
Well, then take it. You're a hero. Take it. I'll drop the
I
torch.
attempt to touch the obelisk.
And as you touch
the way
it,
Leroy did.
Once again, just by a simple touch, you notice it lights up and the little ball of light appears above it.
It's like one of those clap on, clap off things, except you gotta touch it, so it's not like that at all. Like a regular light switch.
Very good. Very smart. Okay, here you go, Smarty Pants. You hold Torch and you go first.
I want to hold the torch.
I don't need to go first.
Just have the mage hand hold the torch, float it out in front of
do.
us.
And I think that's 30 feet. Yeah, Adam, so I'll just assume it's 30 feet ahead of us.
Ahead of you.
Fancy on me now. Let's see here.
Yeah. Ahead of me, the brave kobold.
That should be bright enough for you to see the next island.
All right, so yeah, torch is a single pound, so this will certainly work for mage hand. So
Seems like a torch would be heavier than a pound.
I thought so too. That's why I was double checking. But all right, so I'm gonna set this torch up as an actual torch, and I'm gonna take light off of Gale. Okay, so let me give control of this token to Kurtu. All right, Kurtu, you should now be able to control the torch as you are using your mage hand to move it along. All right, Kurtu, with the benefits of the bright light here, as you're getting closer, you notice to the south side of the bridge here on the platform are these two rocky protrusions that almost remind you sort of statues. They are vaguely humanoid in appearance.
Where are these things?
They are south of the torch.
Okay.
Kurtu, you have to move or I will incur acid damage.
Okay.
Kurtu, during your short rest, you could go ahead and do that Constitution save to see if you drop your level of exhaustion as well.
Oh, yeah, sorry, actually. I don't even know if I marked a level of exhaustion.
I threw a token on your portrait. That's what reminded me.
Okay, yeah, great, thank you.
All right, yeah, that will indeed drop off.
All right, good thing I didn't take credit for it, right? So sorry, forgot about that.
So we're all ready. If you want to keep moving, we'll be.
I'm sorry, I was moving my character.
Wait, what about these statues here on the wall? I can't see it now.
Bring the torch back.
Where is he going?
I don't know.
Well, now we are in absolute darkness again.
I light a fucking torch.
All right, so Josephine, you pull out a torch from your bag in the darkness, doing the best you can. Takes a little bit of time before it springs into existence.
I'll just one-hand my staff for now.
Okay, can you explain these what like wood carvings or stone carvings? Excuse me.
So this ground terrain that kind of is like strange rockiness, it's very rough and not even at all. In the south side here, it's sort of as though two protrusions stick straight up and they're vaguely humanoid in shape. You can notice kind of like a rocky face, a couple of appendages, that sort of thing.
Well,
Appendages meaning like arms or like
arms.
Tentacles. Okay.
No arms.
Well, let's not reach their fate. I'll just keep going, I guess.
Did they have anything neat on them?
You left us in darkness.
You kept on saying, "Go on, Kurtu, go on, move," so I don't get acid on me. Then when I keep on moving, you're like, "Oh, Kurtu, you got left me in darkness."
Kurtu, could you please move torch further east?
No,
I would like to touch the obelisk.
I'm touching this thing.
And as you do, much like the others, it suddenly lights up.
There's another bridge over here.
And as you guys are on this platform, again with this bright light, you notice several other of these statues. Two towards the north side of the platform, one closer towards the bridge, two on the southeast side of the platform, and one just south of Leroy.
Are those humanoid you said? Do they look like adventurers or?
That's what I was just wondering.
They don't look like skin. They look like rocky protrusions in the shape of humans. You don't notice any like clothes or any, and nothing that would give you the impression that there's like they have belongings on them.
Nothing like it wasn't their decision to turn into stone or anything like a
so
crazy
you want to
face?
look at the statues and see if you can gain. Yeah, sure. Give me a blind check here, Kurtu.
Yeah.
No, the faces do not look like they're in agony or anything like that. You study it very carefully as you watch, looking right at one of the statue's faces. It looks pretty placid.
Cool, thanks.
Let's hope they don't wake up.
Oh, more good news.
I'll touch the obelisk.
All right, you touch the obelisk, and once again, you notice a light springs above it.
Hey, Adam, I'm going to move the torch over here.
As you do, it moves over that gap, suddenly getting struck by some of that acid and singed out.
But wait, do you guys have keen eyes to see this object sitting here on the side of cliff?
I do. I see a treasure chest of some. I see a box or something.
If only we knew someone who could fly. And I look at Sil.
You want him to fly through the dripping acid?
Well, he has strong constitution. He's been fighting very well.
Maybe we could put something on him so he doesn't get hurt.
He's probably just
Tent.
gonna, knowing Sil, he's probably just fly over there.
What we could do is put him in his ring and throw it over there and really hope we make it.
That seems like a recipe for disaster to
I
me.
will use my the hell's it called? My racial teleport. Blessing of the Raven Queen. That's what it's called.
Nice. That'll let you get 30 feet. Yeah, you could certainly get over there with that.
And just hope it's not a mimic.
I'm gonna move closer in case it does, and I can face step over there too if need be.
Would you please stop chewing on my cord?
No.
I'm assuming that was the cat.
That was the cat.
Yeah.
Not my cat, not the ghost of my previous character.
Oh.
All right, Sil. So yes, as you appear over on this side as that shadowy, translucent form of yourself fades moments later, you find yourself on a platform very similar to the ones that you've been on otherwise. However, this one seems to be fairly small. This box in front of you certainly looks to be some type of ornate treasure chest.
Oh, so not the thing we're looking for. Damn, we're not going to knock this out in an afternoon.
Yeah, I try to open it.
It does indeed open fairly easily as you open it from the front and inside. With the benefits of the dim light, it's hard to make out specifics in there, but you can certainly notice quite a lot of coinage and what looks to be various objects poking out through all the coins.
He's only worried about gems.
Is this red shit on the tile something we need to worry about, or is that just a
Would you like
artifact
to
on the
worry
map?
about it?
I worry about a lot of things in these campaigns. Can I just take a look at it and see if it seems out of place or...
You can. Give me a blind check as you investigate this area for any significance. Yeah, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary, Josephine. Yes, it's certainly reddish color, but nothing that else jumps out to you.
Go ahead and step away from it anyway.
I wonder what he find. I just standing. Can you? What is he doing? Can you see?
He's just standing there menacingly.
Yes, he looks very intent at this.
Looks pensive. Chest. I wonder how he's gonna get back.
Maybe he's trying to find me a cloak.
I'll sift through the coinage and look for anything that's not coinage that looks like something worth taking.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and give me a blind check, Sil. As you start digging through this large chest, moving all of these coins over, you can hear them kind of clattering together as you're scooping through just a tremendous amount of coins.
I almost regret not buying that bag of holding.
You know, it sounds like a lot of gold is in there.
Sil, you find a coat amongst all of this coinage. You also find some kind of a choker. You find a tabard. You find a pendant. You find a brooch. And finally, near the bottom, you see the hilt of a blade.
But he doesn't look very pensive anymore. He looks very happy.
Don't forget to take the coin so we can spruce things up so we can take it when we leave here.
I don't think he can hear you.
Maybe not.
I just start putting all the non-coinage stuff that I can fit into my backpack in my backpack.
All right, I will assume you have all of the objects, so you're able to carry all of those. As you sift to the bottom to pull out the blade, you notice it has a significant or maybe strange appearance to it.
Oh yeah, let's
like a
pick
good
that
one.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, not it.
Let's touch that.
We'll teleport back across and dump everything out for them to look at.
All right, guys, so you are going to notice a coat, a choker, a tabard, a pendant, a brooch, and this very strange looking sword.
Do the things beside the sword also look obviously cursed?
Nothing quite so exotic as the blade.
Guys, I could do that detect magic thing again.
Oh, it looks pretty magical. I was worried
Yeah.
that it's not the good kind of
The
magic.
other stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, he would know if he had a place on ground. Maybe you try that one, and that would be good.
So, was that a yes? You want me to cast the tech magic? See what we're looking at?
Yes, please. It'll tell us something, at least a little bit, right?
Or yeah, but he can't do it as a ritual because he's a paladin. So maybe we just take it all with us and get it identified later.
Yeah, that works too.
But I like that sword. It looks like it would do lots of damage.
You can carry it.
Be my guest. I'm not touching that thing.
Look, just because something looks dark and ominous doesn't mean you shouldn't touch it. I mean, is that...
What are you trying to imply?
I lived in a tomb for 25 years. Everything was dark and ominous, and if I didn't touch any of it, I would have died.
Oh, I thought you were I thought you were talking about yourself. You want a hug? Is that...
No, I don't care for that, but I mean, this just looks like a sword with a background that's... we don't really know.
The dark and
Can't be
mysterious
bad.
path? Maybe it lost its parents in a tragic accident, and that's why it's so edgy.
Perhaps. The blacksmith who made it was eaten by Tiamat herself or something. I don't know.
Oh,
You never know.
you have something in common with us in a few days.
So, Sil, you touched it. Did anything happen to you? You okay?
Seem fine.
Did you? There was no gold or gems or anything in the chest?
It's full of coins, more than I could carry.
You brought some with you though, right?
Nah, figure it's not going anywhere. Good's coin gonna do us in here.
But but Alexander likes coins, and if we give it to him, we could buy some nice magical items.
Well, remember he said that the stuff in the dungeon doesn't always work the way it does outside, so maybe it's like Monopoly money, and then we bring it out and we have to pay to... This is so fucking extortionate, you guys. Why are we here? Let's go home.
Yes, that is a good point, because we take stuff like this sword. It might be the sword of Vorpal that Kirktu keeps talking about, but it only works here. We go outside, we have to spend lots of money to get it normalized.
Yeah, we spend 1,000 gold to make 1,000 gold worth 1,000 gold.
Yeah, but let me go ahead and ask. Is it better than being broke?
We're not broke. We still got money. I still got money. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I have very little money left after buying that sword and shield. Just...
Well, I am going to take sword. If you don't mind, I'm going to reach out and grab it on the hilt.
You grab it.
But what are you so afraid of? I'm just going to put it on my character sheet. How about that? I'll put scary sword on my sheet.
Works for me. Yeah, so these things don't always take effect right away, so take a few days, and if you develop symptoms, call me in the morning.
Very well. What about this other jewelry and stuff? A choker might look good on Josephine's neck, yeah?
we could just let Silk carry it for now. I mean, nothing is gonna happen. We can't, like...
Let's figure
It's
out what they do.
later, before it
yeah.
kills us. Yeah, you know.
Alright, very well. So we move on, right? We only have 3 minutes left. So, where torch?
Well, Kurtu lost his by throwing it into
Yeah, it didn't like
Acid.
going over the. It didn't like going over the side.
Oh, so the light I'm getting is from you, Josephine.
Yeah, from the torch I'm carrying in my hand. See?
Oh, that's very cool. Gentlemen, do you want to come with, or do you want to only Josephine and I go to class? Okay.
All right, guys, as you continue stepping across the bridge, Josephine, holding onto that torch, casting the bright light, you hear the familiar sound of a screech come from the northeast of your location, and you hear the sound of beating wings. And that, guys, is where we're going to go ahead and pause it for the night.
I knew it.
Nice.
Dun
I'll
dun
be
dun.
okay.
All right,
It was
guys.
nice getting some momentum. That was good.
A lot more of a tactical thing here. A lot of thoughts and decisions about what to do. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this. It's not just a straight up beat 'em up. It's a little bit more involved. So yeah, hopefully you guys had a good time, and we will see you guys all next week.
Cool.
Everybody still got their characters, so we'll put that in the win column.
No done
I'll be
yet.
there for a
So,
second.
All right, take
so
care.
was
Bye.
Good
I.
night, guys.
See
Have a
ya.
good night, guys.
Enjoy.